I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts to...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
Leave them to me. I have you now. All too easy. What? This will be a day long remembered. It has seen the end of Kenobi and will soon see the end of the rebellion.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 25. Getting up there. I am, as always, one of the hosts, Fractured Filter, along with my co-host, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
What's up? What's up? Good. Living the dream. Trying to figure out how we're going to make it through the next 2 hours mentally with this finale. Review and all the things that we want to talk about.
Yeah. I put together a clip specifically for my feelings, especially after watching the finale for sure. Here it is.
Your soul is mine. No! Fatality.
That was basically me after watching the finale. I was just like, I felt so drained. I mean, on one hand, I was so glad it was finally done with, but on the other hand, for just how bad it was, it drained me. I said that the reason why I put that clip together too was I said it to somebody yesterday. I was like, watching that finale was like having Shang Tsung rip my soul out.
Yeah.
And so I just had to put that I just had to grab that video and put that together because I'm like, okay, it's too perfect not to follow through with that.
You know, this whole, I mean, it's a beautifully put together clip. Well done, top marks. It describes it perfectly. This whole series, it's not even series. I guess the whole show, for lack of a better term, it has been draining. And, you know, I never, like, you know, I've said it before, we've talked about it, like, we knew this was going to be bad. And everybody's like, hey, you're cynical, cynical, whatever, fine, you think we're cynical. But, like, we knew it was going to be bad. But honestly, after watching this final episode, it was just laughable. Like, you know, I was watching a Script Troopers review, and, like, he's said it perfectly. Like, it's laughable. It's so bad. There's no excuse for it.
Well, and it's another episode that continues to do damage, even to not just A New Hope, but even to Return of the Jedi, which I saw Uber Geek. In his review, he pointed out a really good point about it, and it was having to do with, you know, Vader saying to Luke, Obi-Wan once thought as you did, which in this episode they pretty much do away with that completely. Obi-Wan was pretty clear now where he was at and not being able to, you know, there was none of that. So they put a lot of things to rest.
It's like watching, it's like watching this show makes A New Hope now stupid because it makes no sense. It
makes everything pointless. It makes everything pointless and stupid.
You know,
It really does. Like we've been talking about. Plenty of other people have been mentioning this. It really just lays the groundwork that they're getting to that point. They're going to be rebooting the original trilogy at some point. I mean, with how much damage they've done, you can't see anywhere where they're not going to take that path.
you know, I want to bring this kind of bring this topic up if we can. So like, I talked to a lot of people at like the local comic book shop and and whatnot, and
Yeah.
some of these people defend the new
course.
Star Wars, and it's like
Right.
the one in particular is like, well, this is basically without verbatim, basically everything that has been being put out falls in line with what Lucas wanted, and Lucas never meant for well, for lack of a better term, to be expanded on and all this and that, and you have to come up with like some pretty solid evidence to lead me to believe that like Lucas would be okay in this everything that they had. Like perfect example, Kenobi, when like, oh yeah, I love Kenobi, it's great, like, well, why do you like it? And they're like, oh, because it's, it's character driven, all this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it breaks continuity. And they're like, well, how does it break continuity? And then you give
Right.
examples of how it breaks continuity. He's like, well, that's not what it, that wasn't implicitly stated, or it's like, it doesn't break continuity. It's like, how can you sit there and say it doesn't break continuity? Like, what are you missing? And I get it, right? There'll always be two arguments, right? And we're never going to come together, and we're never going to agree, because our side,
It's certainly been made that way. Yeah.
for sure, our side defends what we believe, not from a subjective but from an objective standard, what Lucas wanted and because we take our stance based off what Lucas himself has said, right? And we'll
Right.
get into this, and I'll give examples of it, and then they have their stance of like, well, this is just great because this is, Star Wars, and this is what Lucas wanted, right? So there's a lot of contradiction there, what Lucas has said versus what they're putting out, right? Unless
Right.
I'm totally wrong, and Lucas is totally fine with contradiction and continuity being broken.
Well, wasn't it in no, he said it himself. It was for some children's charity thing. They got to ask him a bunch of questions. And he even said, episodes 1 through 6, those are mine. Those are my movies. That's my
Right.
philosophy and all that. Those are Star Wars, essentially. He didn't mention the sequel trilogy. He wasn't mentioning
Right.
what's going on now. He was referring to it as, that.
Right.
So, I mean, we already know from even the Bob Iger book. Was it? Yeah, Iger.
Yeah.
Lucas gave him the treatments for the sequel trilogy. They basically tossed it aside, didn't use any of it, other than killing Luke.
I mean, yeah.
But otherwise, it was no. They completely went their own. They went their own way. They thought they had the right ideas, even though they had no consistent. Nothing like we say. They stay consistent by being inconsistent. That's
Right.
what the sequel trilogy was nothing but an inconsistent mess where there was no communication clearly between from director to next director back to the guy that started this crap.
Right.
Yeah, it
So
just,
how
there's
can- so, like-
no linking anything together. A lot of stuff got thrown out the window. Some things were clearly set up in Force Awakens, but none of it really passed on to The Last Jedi.
Right. So help me understand, because like I said, I'm not the smartest tool in the cookie jar, but I don't get it, because like when I talk to these guys, like they're pretty passionate, they're pretty confident in what they think, but it's like I don't understand their line of thinking and how they can.
Well, think of it this way.
It's
The way I can see it is that for them, this like the new trilogy is their trilogy essentially.
right.
This is what they've come to. Like for me, yeah, I watched the original trilogy, but the trilogy I got to be there for and see and wait for and stuff like that was the prequels.
Right.
That's why I do certainly have a little, maybe that I do have a bit of a fondness to it, but it certainly didn't. I have no fondness for the sequel trilogy whatsoever.
Right.
And
like I said,
that's
like,
why they've compared it a lot of times too to how the original trilogy fans felt about the prequels. They feel like this is history repeating itself. When I'd say it's quite the opposite. I'd say it's a legitimate disliking to the sequel trilogy because while yes, you could say the prequels had their problems, but the thing is that you had a consistent story, you had a fleshed out world by George Lucas. He was just more going, by what he wanted to put on the film.
The issues in the prequels, like the issues in the sequels, far outnumber the issues in the prequels. And I think what's hard for me is because I do love these guys to death, man. Like, they're great friends and everything. It's just I find it hard when they come to the table and they try to defend this stuff, and it's like, continuity. It is, and it's like, well, like, what about continuity? And it's like, well, you bring up that word, and it's like, stone you to death. How dare you bring up that the C word? It's almost, but
the C word. What?
Yeah,
continuity?
Like, how dare you bring up the C word? We want to talk about the C word. How dare
consistency?
You? Yeah, consistency. Yeah.
Please
all the above. Consistency, continuity. How dare you bring the C word into it? So I don't know, but I just find it interesting. It's fascinating to hear people say that this is so good. Like, I was at work all this week, and all the young kids, and that should probably answer it right there because they're young. They're like, oh, it's so great. Did you watch this?
Just to what I was saying, this is their trilogy. This is
and it's like,
stupid, but
here I am, old man, with my cane and my oxygen masks, feeling bad for them. And it's like, if you only saw the original trilogy, if you only, knew about the expanded universe, and here you are, like, this is what you go to. It's like, it's like, hold my beer while I get you some real Star Wars. But here's the thing. Then I tell them about, like, this. It breaks continuity. It doesn't follow. It doesn't follow the book. And I'm like, what book? What book? I'm like, are you kidding me?
The problem is that when Disney took over, they immediately relegated all. Even though Kathleen Kennedy said they had no books, no canon, no nothing. Even though that they completely took the expanded universe content that was already made and thrust it aside to make way for their continuity. And I remember somebody from work saying, "Oh, they had to do that because there's no way." They'd be able to keep with all that information. I kind of lament. I was like, I guess I can kind of see that. Until then, everything that started coming out about Rise of Palpatine. Yeah. And I kind of got a moment of going, about that. Yeah, I guess they would have a problem with keeping together with that continuity, considering they can't keep up their own.
There's no excuse though that you could possibly give to defend Kathleen Kennedy, because she spent how many years with him? 20 plus years?
Oh God, yeah, they've been working together for a long time. Good Lord.
To say that to sit there and say that there's no, basically you spend 20 plus years with the creator himself of Star Wars, and then to say that there's no canon, that is the dumbest comment that you could make. Like, you were there with himself, and you saw everything. Maybe not everything, but you were with him. You had to play the part, and just
a lot of content.
To say we don't have any canon, we don't have any, we don't have anything. Like, you're dumb. You're dumb. I know you're not supposed to call people dumb, but you're dumb. Dumber than a box of rocks to make that comment.
Call it the way you see it.
And so, but that's just one of the many issues. But yeah, this show, if I don't even know how to rank each. Like, if you were to rank each episode leading up to the finale, I don't know which one would take the cake for maybe this one. I mean, this one was just. This was the most cringe-worthy. I mean, it's all cringe.
they all had like specific moments that you can kind of take and go, okay, not bad.
Yeah. I'll tell you
then
this.
But then like there was just like episodes like 3 and 4 where you're just like, this is complete dog water.
Yeah.
How is anybody defending this crud?
Yeah. This last episode was so bad. I will tell you this, and I sometimes I joke to make people laugh, but I'm honestly being honest with you. When I was watching this episode, I literally ran into my TV during the fight scene, hoping Obi-Wan would just slit my throat and just die.
I kept hoping one of them. I was just like, just kill each other. Just do it.
No, I mean, I ran into the TV myself, hoping he would slice me because I just want him to end my life. It was just the worst.
You know, like I said, that was I just. After watching that episode, I'm just like, God damn it, that was bad. I mean, I didn't know what I was like. Okay, so what are we gonna get? Are we gonna get the spoilers and stuff like that? Or the leaks? Are we gonna get exactly that? And for the most part, yeah, we did. And I was like,
I think some of them.
They actually thought this was good. Like they thought this was something to put out there.
This is what's and I was telling these kids at work, I was like, they marketed this show as I think Deborah Chow
Vader and Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, they deemed it as
that.
The rematch of the century, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of the other stuff too.
Yeah, hashtag rematch of the century. Yeah, and we watched this rematch, and if you can even call it a rematch, I said this.
It was a rehash.
Right?
It was a rehash of Revenge of the Sith. That's all this was.
Really bad. But I
have the high ground. Although they had a moment, they could have done it.
Right. I
was surprised they didn't.
Well, this is the other thing I wanted.
Back.
The two things that I wanted to bring up is one, I can replay every single second, and I can quote a lot of Revenge of the Sith and a lot of Star Wars, but Revenge of the Sith specifically, I can replay every single second of the fight on Mustafar, and I can quote almost every single line. Well, there's not a lot of lines, but the point I'm trying to make is I remember everything, right? Yes, and it's so iconic that you remember it. And this was 10 years ago it came out, right? Because Attack was 20 and Revenge was 10, something like that. Yeah. So the point is, 10 years after I remember the fight, right?
Yeah.
And then I watched this, and I don't. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so iconic! It's so much better than the fight on Mustafar. This is the greatest thing ever."
What?
And it's like, I've heard this, and I'm like, I don't remember any. Like, it's just so anticlimactic. Like, if you're gonna market this thing as the rematch of the century, which in itself breaks continuity. Not only having an extra duel, but 2 extra duels. Continuity, and the first one wasn't even a duel. The first one was Obi-Wan just.
This is the thing, though. The fight choreography alone in Revenge of the Sith completely outdoes this.
Right.
I mean, the fight.
And these are the two. And
to me, I felt like there were some goofy moments in the Revenge of the Sith fight. However, it was still so much well put together, right. and this was them in their prime doing this. And this is the only time they were really. I mean. Like, I think it was Raging Rhino. He slowed it down and showed where you see Obi-Wan basically handing the lightsaber behind his back over to his hand in a very kind of pass back way. It was just like, it was just poorly edited, poorly shot.
Yeah.
It had none of the same. I mean, it wasn't even like. Like you could say how like with Darth Maul where it got a little more physical in like kicks and punches and stuff like that. And even into the Revenge of the Sith fight, they kicked and punched a few times in that one. But it wasn't even to that same it didn't have that kind of physicality or even brutality. No. I'd hate to say brutality, but I mean it's kinda like there's down and dirty in the fight. That there wasn't that.
Well, and I don't know if Hayden. So, like, we know Hayden at one point in time was in the suit.
He was supposed to be in the suit for this
fighting.
For the fight, I believe he might not have been, but he.
So the other,
I don't know. It's hard to know.
Pisses me off. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I saw that. The thing that pisses me off, and I get that, Vader, Anakin versus Vader. There's obviously the fighting style is they do the same fighting, which is like 4 and 5, I believe. But Vader in the suit obviously had to
I don't
readjust
even
that.
think they have the concept of 4 and 5,
Yeah, but
3 and stuff like that.
right, but like this fight, like if you had Hayden and Ewan doing this fight scene, the same actors that did Revenge of the Sith. Why are they so like? Why in Revenge of the Sith that was led by Lucas?
Think about
so
how
much,
long it's been. They
But,
can
yes,
pull off
but
little flourishes in here and there that kind of the muscle memory, but they don't have the same stunt choreographer. I think it's
Well,
Gillard or they don't have that guy that basically helped create the lightsaber fighting.
for
He's
sure,
not
but
there anymore. He hasn't been a
they
part of
could've-
anything
yeah.
Star Wars since Revenge of the Sith.
the point that I'm trying to make is that they could and I tweeted this a couple days ago, like they could get anybody. Disney, I don't care. Like people are like, well, they don't have money because COVID. No, like they still have money and they can get anybody that they want. They could get any stunt coordinator. They could get any writer. They could get anybody they want, right?
Right.
And then we get this though. So if you're going to market this as the rematch of the century, you need to blow the Mustafar fight out of the water. I can't even believe I'm saying that because
you had to outdo what was already pre-established.
Star Wars theory, and I obviously I've talked about him on the show. Like he said it himself. He's like we had one duel, so we have to have another one because if we don't, then it breaks continuity. But Obi-Wan's gonna have to dust Vader pretty good. Like
yeah, because Vader,
how. Oh God!
Sorry, go ahead.
Like
Go ahead.
I just how did Obi-Wan dust him? I mean, he threw some big ass boulders that apparently he's impervious.
Yeah, that Vader just tanked like a boss. Apparently, is like there should have been some. I mean, his suit isn't indestructible. It's taken battle damage before, and it's like, what?
It's like one of those coats that you wear into the freezer. Like, I don't understand how you can be impervious to these are not pebbles, man. These are big Grand Canyon-sized boulders, and he's getting pelted by. And it's not even like 10 to 15. Like the whole screen, right, is filled with these things, and he's getting pelted. And then you've got, like you said,
I could already hear some people being out there going, "Well, he's a Sith Lord, so he's using his anger and rage to take all the damage." I'm just like, there's a limit to how much a person can tap into that, right?
But even with that,
Darth Bane had his limitations on how far he could push his body.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I understand what you're saying, but did you not see how big those boulders were? Like, these are boulders. These are not rocks. There's a specific reason why I use the term boulder.
I blame. This is the problem because you have a lot of these creatives that are probably there now, and the writers or whomever who grew up probably with like watching a bunch of anime and shit, and they feel they have to do this over the top nature. It's also stemmed from what like they showed in Force Unleashed. That was a contributing factor to this over the top force power nonsense. And then also, as much as I love the cinematics for Star Wars: The Old Republic, they did some of the same things there, especially in the trailer with the battle on Alderaan, when Satele Shan is basically doing a big force wave Hadoken.
The Kamehameha, the force Kamehameha.
At Malgus at the end of it. It's a great visual and everything, and I get it, but
okay, but there's a difference between the force.
Lucas had a balance to how powerful or in how he was supposed to be displaying their power, so it wasn't supposed to be so over the top that that they were practically doing a Dragon Ball Z battle with boulders and crud like that.
But then the other thing that doesn't make any sense, and again, this is where like I need you to correct me, but like, and so like to your point where he literally like flips lightsaber in the back of his hand, and then like he's bashing the program button tablet, which I believe they programming button tablet or table. It describes it in the Dark Lord Rides of Vader, his suit, but he destroys that, right?
Oh, the panel. On his chest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which basically, and then
he
the
was
red.
like using the hilt. I mean, it looked like to me that he was using the hilt of his lightsaber, and he just started smacking.
How did he? But how did Vader? So like, how did he not? Like, how did Vader not die? Because like he busted his chest piece, which regulates
and
all of
his. He busted open his helmet.
And then within canon continuity EU and even within like the facts, Vader could only take his helmet off in the meditation chamber.
Yeah,
so his helmet's cracked and his chest piece is gone, which regulates all of his basic life support system. So how's he not dead? He's wheezing. We got the the member berry Return of the Revenge of the Jedi. Wheezing after Luke wallops his arm off. But like, how is he not dead, right? And then why did Obi-Wan not kill him? Like, clearly you don't care about continuity. So why would Obi-Wan just not kill him or strike a deadly blow?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, he again had him on the first time. You could kind of get it. That was a lot more of a different situation.
For sure, you just killed your brother.
His limbs off. That was he was a little more raw, and it was more called, he had to for one book it because Palpatine was getting
was on his way. He didn't even stop to get a job with Juice.
But at the same time, like it even details in the novel, he's leaving it to the will of the Force, basically. So if Anakin lives, he lives. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I mean, I think he kind of knew what was going to happen.
I wonder, based off that, I wonder how well Obi-Wan does at Pizak, because that's a big gamble to take. But yeah, I mean, to your point though, like we both have brothers, so like if I just wallop my brother, all three of my brother,
I don't know about you.
Yeah, so yeah, I do. But like if I had walloped all, both my brothers, both his legs and his one good arm that he still has, I'd be pretty upset too a little bit about it. It'd still be raw, so like I get that part. I personally told my
just went on a murderous rampage, killing a bunch of people he knew.
Yeah, and then and then accused me of sleeping with his wife that he should never have had. But so I get that part, but this part, why you've broken continuity. You've established without coming out and saying it that you say that you care about continuity. You don't because you've broken it. So why not? Like why? Do a whole nother goodbye, Darth.
This is another thing that I forget pointed out, and it's a very excellent point. It's Obi-Wan now basically has going forward the blood on his hands of anybody that's killed by Vader and the Empire because he let Vader go again.
I mean that's a good argument.
And more so that he knows what he is. At this point, Anakin has become effectively he's dark side. He's full on. He's embraced it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He watched him pull people out of their homes and whatever, force choking them and killing them in the streets. He knows what he'll do and what he's willing to do just to get to other Jedi, to get to him, particularly Obi-Wan. So it just puts Obi-Wan in an even worse position to walk away from all of it. It's like this should have. There should have been something more again that separated them or forced them to not continue the fight.
Well, and I just feel
and
like
also
maybe
to leave
Obi-Wan
Vader in a much more stronger position.
Right.
Because now they just punked their villain.
I just feel like he should have dusted. I mean, again, like if this is a rematch of the century, I feel like Obi-Wan should have dusted him more than he did. I feel like Vader, and I could be wrong, and people could say no, Jay Hitman, you're wrong. But I feel like
I think if anything, this should have been a definite slobber knocker of a
I
fight.
love the JR reference.
Huh?
I like the JR reference. That's a slobber knocker.
Yeah, it should have been a real down dirty.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, after you go, I want to ask you something, but go ahead.
Well, no, it just would have been something more of, because I mean he was talking to himself of I'm gonna go in to finish this now.
Right.
I have to. This is.
I have to
if we're gonna fight, we're gonna have to end it.
Yeah. Like somebody's like we're not both walking away. Like somebody's gonna.
No, somebody's gonna have to go, and the fight just should have been that. It should have been a complete, just getting down even physical. I know it's not the Jedi way, but I mean this is again like rehashing their old pain and stuff like, and that should have been more of like what was going on for like some of the flashes of like their old fight and stuff like that, and just to me, it to be a fight of the century, to bill it like that, they needed to be a lot. Like there should have been a much more battle damage on Vader, much more on Kenobi. Just, I mean, if you're gonna do that, throw it down like that. That's how I think it should have been just a crazy saber fight.
Not that I love to ask rhetorical questions or anything, because you know me. Personally, but who got it worse, Anakin in Revenge of the Sith or Anakin in this finale?
Revenge of the Sith.
Clearly, right? So, like, why the hell do we get this in the finale? Like, I don't know. But they're so.
Just take a moment. Hello, the Atlanta Thrasher. He says a vision telling him not to kill Vader would have been something. It could have been something. Even Qui-Gon. The voice of Qui-Gon kind of popping in and, kind of reminding him maybe of who Vader was, or, even him. That could have been like one of the flashes, Padme's final words to him. They're still good in him. Just something that would have maybe, held back the fight in some way, or, again, something needed to pull them apart to make it a more reasonable thing that he left Vader again,
right?
Not in that condition.
I really like your point from the argument. Like in theory, now Obi-Wan has, like, to your point, like he now carries all that blood because he didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And again, like you don't care about continuity.
Guess what happens? Alderaan gets blown up. No wonder he felt that shit.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean. Literally, but and then we get so he gets his night robot chicken reference, gets night bright light chest destroyed, and then the whole gotta have the rebel scene, the helmet crack scene.
They had to do it. They had to put that one in there. They're referencing not only themselves, but then also.
So this is something when I was watching it. How did that lightsaber just conveniently just crack the helmet and not go like into his
skull?
Yeah,
because they don't know how lightsabers work.
Is it a Durasteel? Like is it something Durasteel? I don't remember in the book if it describes what his the metal part. Like his legs are Durasteel. I believe that
it did in the Dark Lord Rising book.
That's what I'm asking because I'm reading it. I'm reading it currently, but I've not gotten to the part where it describes.
I don't remember everything that it's specified.
But
so
neither
you're
here
reading
nor there.
the book. I went through the audio book, which was a bridge, so yours might have more details.
Yeah, book's great. Shameless plug, 10 out of 10. Highly recommend so far. But yeah, like I watched that. Like he does this ridiculous like fairy jazz hand swat of his lightsaber to hit his helmet. Like how did that not like go into his head? Yeah, to your point, they don't know how lightsabers work, but
they don't. I mean, look, he got slashed on the back, and that did.
How is that a thing? Like I forgot about that scene. Like, how did that not like? Is his armor's just and I guess but to that point, like in Empire Strikes Back when Luke and Vader are dueling on the Bespin. Luke does, get him a good whack on his armor, and it, does smoke and but so I guess to that point, but
he did ding him one, didn't he?
But so
okay, I guess I had to kind of concede that one.
Yeah, but the helmet though, like
but, that was like a full on. That was a kind of a quick clipping. I'll rationalize it. Luke's was a quick clipping.
This was a full-on, like, you jumped, you're in midair, You're swinging your lightsaber into his head. And this is another thing. How did he not cut his head off? I was trying to gauge the gap between like where his lightsaber... He had enough room to where he could have sliced his head off. But conveniently, he just hits the front of his helmet when he went to the side of it. I guess it was the side, but when you watch him, when we do if we end up watching this finale, God, I hope not, but it looked like he had enough room he could just wallop his head off.
Yeah,
could be wrong. Maybe I was wrong, but when I was watching, I was like, you just conveniently, just hit the side of his helmet and be like, well, they can't kill Vader because he's in A New Hope. Well, like, you don't care. Don't sit there and make that like you've watched it, so you've ate it up, so you don't care about continuity. So don't sit there and tell me that all of a sudden you care.
He's made out of unobtainium. You know what? Joke aside, that's probably true for Disney Lucasfilm. That's basically that's how they'll justify it away. Yep.
I wonder if that's where Vader goes on his holiday. I wonder if he goes to Wakanda. Maybe it's a vibranium. Oh, good night.
It would make more. Yeah, or like you already said, the Beskar armor, or
Oh, I forgot about the Beskar. Maybe it's Beskar.
Beskar, or oh God, why am I forgetting it?
Black Suit Panther. Cortosis. Don't do that. Don't ruin. I'm playing Jedi Outcast right now. Don't ruin it.
I'm not ruining anything.
Cortosis. Cortosis. Armor.
The armor is made out of plot. Yes.
Yeah.
They want to have plot. The literal plot armor. Literally.
And then the whole exchange between Anakin and but that's the thing. Like Obi-Wan, like there's like a pause. Like he's letting him catch his breath, which is like I don't understand. Like you need to like off him now, but you're gonna let him whatever. And then obviously he's like sees his face, and then we get the whole exchange between him and Anakin, and it's just so bad. I didn't watch I've not watched Rebels like I've said before, but I feel like
here's to the armor thing. Somebody had posted about it, showing off, from Star Wars Purge in 2005, not in the Rebels series, because that's where this whole armor thing first came from, right up here at the top, and then Filoni happened to again rummage through the garbage.
Yeah,
their Legends material that they threw out, and boom, and then boom.
Do you think?
I knew they weren't exactly crediting Purge for this.
You brought something up. You just said something interesting. You said he rummages through EU
garbage.
Trash.
Yeah,
we know. Obviously, do you think
that's because they threw out the Legends material like it was garbage.
Do you think Filoni likes raccoons? Like, is it his spirit animal? Because we know about the whole furry thing. Is his spirit animal a raccoon? Because he surely does have qualities of a raccoon. He rummages through everything. He steals everything, and then calls it his own.
Yeah, basically.
I think that's what I'm going to refer to him as, the raccoon. The Shy-Street raccoon.
Thrasher says, I still wonder how Ben got off the planet. Wasn't he in a shuttle? Yeah, he had a shuttle that he took from the main ship that he was originally on with Leia down to the planet.
Oh,
I think it would have made more sense if during the fight he would have gotten surrounded by backup stormtroopers and he fled, which would have made more sense for his escape if forces were concentrated on the surface. That would have spared both Vader and Ben. I mean, just having the whole... I mean, like it was. Kenobi went down on his own ship. Vader followed him on his own personal shuttlecraft. To which... I mean, yeah, they could have been... yeah, basically it could have been like the Grand Inquisitor... Since he was on the Star Destroyer with Vader, to him it could have been like, this is taking too goddamn long. And took a whole platoon and everything of stormtroopers and went down to the planet to back up Vader despite what he said, because again, it's not like he's going to kill the Grand Inquisitor because we need the Grand Inquisitor for Rebels.
Of course.
But no, that, I mean, either, or it could have been called, Grand Inquisitor. That could have been one of a scene for the Grand Inquisitor to contact Sidious. Be like, my lord, Vader is getting too wrapped up in this Obi-Wan nonsense.
Right.
He has taken too long down on that planet. It could have been any stupid reasoning, and on Palpatine's orders, it could have been called, yes, go down there, end this now.
Execute Order 67.
There's been too much time wasted on this. We have other important things to do. Clear it up. Get out. Let's go. And that's how it could have been. Vader would have had to have, actually taken those orders. 67 beer run.
Yeah.
But that could have been your reasoning for them, avoiding the full-on fight that they get into.
But but then like this planet that they're that they're on,
this random Dust Bowl planet. We're like, hey, this will be a great place for this fight. Let's do it.
The chase scene though between the Geo Metro and the Star Destroyer, like that, I don't.
God, that was horrible.
I didn't know if the. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but the beginning of this. The beginning of this episode where they're being chased, for one, nobody inside is really that scared, it seems. But
no, you just have a Star Destroyer that's literally on your six,
chasing your asses. But this
coming
is the
in
thing.
hot.
Yeah, this is the thing. They were already saying how much of a freaking junker this thing was, right? That it was. Yeah. It needed to be repaired. They were trying to repair it on the go, stuff like that. Okay. So tell me how the Imperial Star Destroyer in A New Hope manages to not only catch up to the Tantive, but then also get in close range to apply its tractor beams and capture the ship, while they couldn't even capture this junk heap. And then going off of their own canon, Vader had just seen it leave in Rogue One. He saw it bolt away, get away. They had a jump. They had basically a head start. They still caught up and caught them. But yeah, I guess it was a junker Lamborghini, still faster than the Empire. Which is just making the Empire look like the biggest bunch of goofballs still.
Well, it's like I said, it's indirectly deconstruction at its finest. It's what it is. Like, I don't understand how the hell I can't. And the more that I think about it, like I want to break something. I want to punch my wall because it's so frustrating. It's like, one, I couldn't tell it was like the scene where the ship is weaving back and forth like Dory from Finding Nemo, or if it was the guy shaking the can. Like, it's just so freaking bad. And then how do you, like, to your point, like, how do you not catch that? Like, you're a freaking Star Destroyer.
All they were doing was like waving back and forth.
Yeah.
They weren't considering they were in space. They didn't go up, down, left. I mean,
but it was so badly done though. It's like glitchy, and it doesn't. And it's like.
And I mean, I get it. The joke is the stormtroopers can't hit anything, but I didn't know the Imperial Star Destroyers couldn't hit shit either. I could have sworn I remember during Empire Strikes Back, they took out some ships.
No,
that were Brits
it's because the stormtroopers are the ones that are firing at them on the Star Destroyer.
Darn it, you got me.
You silly! You forgot about that. No, it's just so bad, and so yeah, that was the scene where I just lost it.
They're trying to repair the ship, and they don't have hyperspace or
space whales. They don't have the space whales.
They needed space whales, but they didn't have the hyperdrive ready. The freaking the extra little ship that was inside there had that apparently.
Yeah.
It had the ability for going through hyperspace for travel, but their ship was broken enough that they couldn't do it. So, okay, I've watched some sci-fi movies and TV shows. I've often seen them where, like, one ship's broken, they connect up the good ship to the broken one to help get away and crap. So where was some of that thinking?
Well, Joby Harold wrote this. Like, he didn't think of that. Because that makes so much sense. Like, I don't know. It's just so stupid. But this is the thing, though. For people to say, oh, yeah, it's so good. Like, you see the problem in the writing? You see the... Like, these aren't even, like, gaps. These are, like, massive, like...
lots
just... It's like a massive crevasse. And no amount of rope is going to get you to the other side. To even help you understand, like, it's just so bad, and people come out of the world. They come out like state troopers, and to the defense of this, like, well, and they're like, oh well, you know, it was rushed. Like, yeah, it was rushed. Yeah, like Filoni himself or Favreau himself said it was rushed. So, but even if it wasn't,
why did
rushed,
he say that? Considering he didn't have anything to do with this project.
Because there's an interview. I'll have to pull it up, but it was a interviewer. He's being interviewed, and he was basically saying how Deborah Chow's a brilliant director, but he felt like the show was rushed, and he was basically insulting the show but trying to be like politically correct
but
very backhanded. But like, even if this wasn't rushed, like, it'd still be dog water. You could have all the money in the world.
You can tell that from some of these takes and stuff. What they put in was like,
you know it's bad because you know it's bad when you get
a second take or two, guys.
Listen, when you say that you can fit 4 people in a T-47 snowspeeder, it's bad. The writing's bad. OG Star Wars posted that. I'm gonna put it in the Discord.
I'm about to.
Post this real quick.
Where'd you put it? He seems to have walked away. All right. I'm getting that T-47 image because that was the funniest darn thing. Because you could see just how small the compartments are for those ships, and I mean, you can already tell it from. Here it is. Just from the movies alone. You don't necessarily need an extra diagram, but... So yeah, here's the Rebel Snowspeeder. You can certainly see there's no extra compartments in there to fit a full complement of 4 people. I mean, I know they got a child with them, but... This is certainly not. I can't find the words, but it's.
But look, show me, and because OG, like I said, she posted this, and I think I responded. But where do you put the other 2 people?
Yeah, you mean these are the same 2-seater T-47s that carried the pilot Obi-Wan, Leia, and Tala away to safety in Kenobi. 2-seater snowspeeder that can carry 4 people. I'm not the smartest cookie in the pencil crayon box, but something's off.
Like, and here's the thing, and we don't even know if there's a co-pilot in there. Like, obviously there's supposed to be co-pilots. We don't even know if there's a co-pilot in this thing. So there wasn't. Okay, well, I was gonna say because that's 5 people.
It was just R.I.P. Wade, and then the gal in the other snowspeeder that they jumped into.
But she didn't have a co-pilot because I didn't see it because
neither of them had
because the visual effects were so immaculate that you could see it. But but again, I'm not defending Joby Harold, but this is the same guy that didn't know that Obi-Wan knew that Anakin was Vader based off Revenge of the Sith. Idiot. So maybe he didn't know that a T-47 was a 2-seater and not a 5-seater. But and then there's this guy that I was talking to that said, well, yeah, they sat on people's laps. Like, Leia's small, so she sat on Obi-Wan's lap.
We brought that up.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and then Obi-Wan just sat on Tala's lap? Sicko. Like you got 4 people, and a 2. Like that's like literally having.
There was still no
4 people.
room for like you had the pilot. You maybe put Leia with the pilot, and then Obi-Wan.
Pull that back up though. Pull it back up.
Okay. But that's just it.
Yeah,
There's still no room for the pilot to actually pilot.
No. This thing, you're so tight in this
even if
thing.
you had a little kid in your in your lap.
Listen, this is so you cannot fart in this thing. It's so tight.
Yeah.
You're not squeezing anything out. And then to watch in Empire Strikes Back, Luke struggled trying to get out of the damn thing because it's like he's like a sardine. It's like freaking yeah. You know, it's like trying to move around in a jumper plane. Like you're not like. Look at this. Where are you going to put her? Is it? Oh, there's a spot by the repulsor lift that Leia could crawl into. The repulsor generator, maybe, or maybe they towed them. That's another. I heard another thing that somebody towed them with the tow cable.
The Atlanta Thrasher, he said the tow cable.
That's yeah. Through space with no oxygen. They just tied that. They just hung on. But
I try to Star Trek logic this. The Empire needed to recall their forces or leave them behind to pursue. If this was Star Trek, they would have just beamed everyone back up. Yeah, they would have.
Sentinel, welcome Sentinel.
I was just about to get to that. I was going to go through these other comments really quick. How they had to start because, of course, they don't show that. Yeah. You have to plug a lot of holes in the plot yourself to make. Well, and that's what everyone does. The defenders plug the holes for Disney Lucasfilm, while we're going, no, that still doesn't make any sense. This is just your own headcanon. They didn't show us anything that you're telling me here.
Yeah.
And hey there, Sentinel. Hey, LOL.
That's funny.
Fixing my 2-seater back in high school.
Good on you.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you're right on that one. Yes.
But this. These are the people that are writing this. Like,
you're getting called out there. Pixar, it didn't happen.
Ooh. Video evidence. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, man. But I really like, how Script Trooper, he described it. It's just, it's just piss poor writing, terrible visuals. He's like, I forget what else he said, but the proof is in the pudding. Here we are sat at the dinner table. Like there's no other way to put it. There's nothing. What's that?
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's just I don't think I've ever watched a show, and I've watched a lot of shows in my day that has been this bad. Even some like the late 80, the late 80, early 80 movies, like even the visuals were better than what we got. And the technology, this is like
some of them you just kind of now just excuse this because it's 80s cheese, and you're like, you know what, screw it, I don't care. This is still fun no matter. Because I mean, the funny thing is, as bad as some of them, like some of the old CG looked and stuff like that, you could just go, it looks stupid, but I'm still enjoying the story. The story isn't like offensively stupid, or some of them are, and you can still kind of just laugh at it. But like some of them aren't so to a point that
yeah. Sentinel says, in my honest opinion, the validation of the term headcanon has allowed moron Disney shills and writers to not give a shit about continuity. 100% agree.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how now for the gaming side of things, like Bethesda just keeps putting out the same shit games, but it gets wrapped up in, oh, don't worry, the modders will take care of it. And
right.
It's a lot of the same thing. It's just called, oh yeah, modders will take care of it. Oh, don't worry about it. The fans will just write their own headcanon, their own fan fiction to help fill in the gaps for this nonsense. No worries.
Yeah. Let's see here. It's the Atlanta Thrasher. The most unbelievable part of Obi-Wan, that Flea would sign up for this mess. Maybe it was some kind of court order. That's funny. And like I said, as a fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I was very shocked and a little bit offended that Flea would resort to. And he has done some, very questionable things, I'm sure, in his time.
What Rockstar hasn't.
Well, things that we know about and things that we probably don't know about. I mean, but for him to show up to the, to take part in this, I wonder if it was a court order thing. But yeah, it's so mind-boggling to think that you hype this up, and like I said, you're Disney, you have all the money, like literally I don't care what anybody says, and it's a hill of darn, you have money, and there are people jumping at the opportunity to work for you for why I don't know. I have no reason why they would, but I know that people would because it's Disney.
The thing is though is that they want to try and excuse it and go, oh, we didn't have the time. You're clearly though putting time into other projects though. Mandalorian clearly got time.
That's the argument, though, because they say, well, Mandalorian...
And why would you're bringing back Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. You're bringing back Hayden Christensen while in a freaking bad capacity of not taking advantage of, doing more either Clone Wars era scenes or them Padawan Master dynamic, whatever. You didn't take advantage of having these two together again at all.
No.
Other than one small bit of scenes in the last two episodes.
Yeah. So my argument's this. So like they say, well, we didn't have Favreau, we didn't have Filoni, and we were short on time. Like, but to what you just said, like you had the two people that were actually involved in the prequels, right, and it was still dog water. Like, and Ewan should be ashamed of himself. Like,
the point is, though, is like you got those two people. You should be taking your time to make something amazing. If not,
they're not gonna. Yeah,
this was something that I saw Star Wars Theory get called out on because he was making this point. It's like we should be getting good content. We shouldn't be just bending the knee for crap. It's called there for this, especially for some project like this where you're touting 3 match of the century and all this, you should be taking the time and care to really put together something good. You should have just done the Kenobi book, but you should have really done something good and taken the time to flesh it out and make something that we're not having to whine, bitch, and moan because you put out a half-ass product.
In my opinion, it doesn't matter if you were under the gun or not. You had two people that not only were the main characters in the prequels, but you also have two characters and two people that worked with Lucas, right? So there's nothing that you can say that would justify this show. I don't care if you're under the gun or not. You had they were there. You had the blueprint. You had the template. You owned the material. You had both the actors. You had everything. The only thing that wasn't done was the spoon feeding part, right? You had everything. I don't care. Like that is, it's like people know that it's so bad. I think in their head, and this is my subjective, I think they know that it's so bad in their head, but they're trying to grasp onto anything they physically can grasp onto to defend it. And so the whole they were under the gun. They had a short amount of time. Deborah Chow, hasn't been directing that long, or they didn't have the budget, or Dave and John, were off. Favreau was somewhere and Filoni was in Salt Lake at FurryCon, or setting up for next year's FurryCon. Whatever the excuse is, you had it. There's nothing there. It's your fault. It's like the teacher giving the answers to the test a week before the test is to take place, and you just choose not to listen to what the teacher is saying, and so you fail. And so you're like, well, you didn't give me the answers. Well, no, you had the answers. I gave them to you. You just didn't listen. You didn't see the signs. So it's on you. And but again, people, they're going to defend them. They're going to defend what Disney couldn't fix. I guess you could, Disney, Lucas, created this with all these plot holes, and there's they're so the utter dualishness of it that you have to have the fans defend you because you can't you don't see what you've done, and that's just, oh god, it's just I'm gonna break something. You're so stupid. Like literally, like you're just idiots, shysters, imbeciles. Like I wish I could force choke you through my computer because you're so like it's so bad, and it pisses me off because like pieces of lie. It just pisses me off, man, because like. Again, I know there's people that listen and they probably think that we're just two cynical a-holes that don't like Star Wars. No, like we do, but I cannot. I will not.
That's where the passion comes from, man. We love it. Why are you allowing? Why? Just why?
I forget who the guy who plays the midget in Game of Thrones, but he says I shan't stand for it. I shan't do it. Like I shan't stand for this. I won't. Like I can't. On principle, I will not stand for this. And it's so irritating that people are so blinded that they defend this. Like this is utter garbage. This is dumpster fire.
Look at all the nonsense we see. It's like,
this just it's so. I've never. Oh god, I can't. I'm gonna. Where's my spray bottle? I gotta get back in my cage.
Unofficial patch 4. Nah, it'll be fine. Critical drinker. Yeah, it is. Don't worry about it. It'll all be fine. Flat base is more powerful than the Force. Lee. Lee has been in good movies till now. Too big to fail, and they still did. Yeah. Short amount of time, they've held back MCU movies forever.
That right there. I mean, that is a perfect.
They've reshot movies because of questionable actors/actresses, and I think that's why they released Miss Marvel out while the Ben was still on to displace the hate.
Probably.
Yeah, they because I mean, last I knew that wasn't performing too great either. So
no, I heard it was
under the radar at this point because everyone's focused on Obi-Wan.
It's like a terrible candidate gets elected, but then you drive up the prices on something to distract them from what just happened.
Oh, something like that. It's like, all right, so are we just gonna try and go through all of this? Like we started. I mean, we went from the fight. Now we're at the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, we can, I suppose, or we don't have to.
Oh, this is part of like the big question too. Are you saying that COVID ended because of Ukraine? You know, maybe. Okay. We start out this episode, though. This episode starts out with Reva freaking magically on Tatooine. How? Are you actually going to tell me?
The Force is female. We didn't doubt.
Yes, the Force is female. Get that. However... Are you actually telling me they left the ship she took down there as well? They left that. You're telling me that, they're going to just leave equipment behind. The Grand Inquisitor didn't take that ship. And like, peace, we out. I mean, how? And it was clearly like there was no span of time between what's going on with the ship of them trying to escape the Star Destroyer and her magically appearing on freaking Tatooine. I mean, unless suddenly there's a Force version of the instant transmission. What the hell?
I mean, maybe she knew who Goku was. I don't know.
I'm just like,
maybe she studied under Master Roshi when she left the Order after Order 66.
Well, she taught herself. You can't have a male teacher. We know that now.
Yeah, that pissed me off, and it made no sense. And I think I lost brain cells trying to figure out how she got off. Because to think that like Vader and we saw Vader with his wonderful anger management skills, destroyed and ripped apart the one ship, and then the other ship left. You would think that if Vader and Grand Inquisitor left her for dead or in the gutter, as GI said, like, I don't know. But then the argument that I've heard from all the Disney shows is, well, it's a whole planet. There's multiple ships. She could have just, used her rage
was
to
stabbed in the damn chest.
But the rage saved her, though. She used her rage. You forgot that part.
It's not like it's an unlimited supply.
But it is because she's female and the Force is female, and the Force favors females because it's female. Is, why she's able to get off the planet. Apparently. According to them. Not my opinion, theirs. But yeah, that, it's stupid. So, that's defense number one. But then oh God, do you just want to watch it? I could really care less. It was so bad going through it, but
no, I don't really want to endure that crap again. I mean, just kind of, then we were, again onto the ship. Leia's apparently fearless. And she's the one tending to the other kids.
Scripture, he's like, 10-year-old Leia is the same Leia in The New Hope. She hasn't grown at all.
Basically. She has no arc or anything.
Okay, great. Yeah.
There's
no development. Level. Yeah. It's Leia, fully developed Leia. Hasn't learned anything
Doesn't need to. She's perfect the way she is.
Because she's a Skywalker. She's she's a god little G.
Oh. And then, and then again, we've got what's his? I forgot what the hell his name is. The guy in charge of this whole bullshit operation.
Oh, the
He's apparently Ice Cube's son.
Are you serious? Because he does look like, that's hilarious. I did not know that because he did. Look like Ice Cube.
Roken's again, going back and forth again, being unable to keep to a single thing of, we're trying to repair the ship and don't leave and get it. And when Obi-Wan's getting ready to leave, he's like, "You're a great leader. What the hell has he led? He's indecisive as hell." I mean, just look at what happened in, what was it, episode 4? When Obi-Wan was asking him for help and he's backing away, going, "No, I ain't gonna help you. All right, now what can I do for you?" It's like, what the? I don't want to have to pull this episode. It already made me lose enough brain cells. So yeah, they had a magic machine in the back that Obi-Wan decided to take. That worked better than theirs. Oh, and that's another thing. So they clearly had the transport shuttlecraft on the Star Destroyer, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't Vader just take that, follow Obi-Wan, and let the Grand Inquisitor and the Star Destroyer continue to pursue that ship with the Rebel network? Please tell me.
I lost brain cells.
This was General Skywalker, man that led armies, fought in the Clone Wars to many victories, experienced pilot, but now has gone full freaking retard when it comes to anything else.
Yeah, it's 10 years have
apparently rotted his brain. Why? I don't know.
It's just the writing is just so great.
It's something already. Why does Obi-Wan keep trusting Haja? Why?
Oh my god, yeah, and then that brings up another. I'm trying to find the tweet. Somebody,
the wannabe freaking Jedi.
Somebody had tweeted that. It was.
Oh yeah,
God, what's his name? I'm pulling it up.
I don't remember.
I
just know that the person limited the replies on Twitter. So
yeah, who was it?
Anytime you clicked on it, it would like go blank and you couldn't see it. Other than the little message of this person has limited the response of who can see this tweet.
Who was it? I can't remember, but he was basically like, "A New Hope is so much better because of Kenobi." What did I see here?
I don't know if you're gonna be able to find it.
Well, I'm probably not, but it was a Disney shill apparently. Oh, it's Alden Diaz, this guy, and I've listened to him before. I've heard of him.
Have you?
Yeah. So he's like, everything. Let me see if I can pull it up. But he said everything in A New Hope is better now. Even Obi-Wan meeting Han. Yes, he knows Han is full of it. That's clear. But now we can also gather that he sees Han's heart. He sees the right person, not just the right pilot. Lessons of intuition and trust. Lessons he relearned, though hashtag Haja. Ugh, this guy.
The things that they'll excuse. It's like, again, it says he learned. He didn't. So yeah, with that, and then of course Owen gets the warning that hey, some crazy person's looking for you.
Yeah, and then how does this guy know?
And what do you mean? She threatened him.
No, like Owen, but like the guy that told Owen.
The guy told Owen what happened.
But how did that guy know? Did Reva threaten that guy that told Owen?
Yeah, she threatened him, told him probably that he's looking for him, and then he went off and found.
Was
Owen
that in the show though? Was that in the show?
They didn't show her threatening the guy.
Oh, it's another plot hole. Okay,
it's another thing where it cut away, and then it gets to.
It's just inferred that this guy was threatened by Reva. Because I saw, I was like, I don't remember Reva ever threatening that guy. So how did this guy know?
The guy just comes up to Owen and goes, "I have to talk to you," basically.
Yeah.
And then it cuts away again. They get back to it. Owen's back at the farm. And he's basically saying, we need to get the hell out of here because a crazy Sith person is, this person's after us. Why? I don't know. Why she decides to go after Luke, Lord freaking knows.
How did
no reason for it. She has, other than, again, more connections between Obi-Wan, Luke, or Obi-Wan and Bail, but
I try to make that connection because at the end of episode 5, she sees holo projector, not communicator, and learns that the Luke is on, or the boy is on Tatooine. So I don't. Yeah. But how does she know that Luke is Anakin's son?
Where they say, well, I don't. That's the thing. We don't know what she knows.
Yeah.
We only know that yes, she knows Vader is Anakin. We don't know.
But how does she? Yeah.
Because nobody was supposed to know about Anakin and Padme. So.
I mean, if they had followed, I don't know, the Last of the Jedi book, then it would make more sense because Grand Inquisitor Malorum knew of Luke and Leia because of the Pola Massa. But this show is, does such a great job with continuity and consistency that it's really, easy to understand how she knew that Leia and Luke were Anakin's kids. Because it's such great writing. And it's clearly stated.
Amazing.
But like, yeah, why Tatooine? Why go to Tatooine? You just pissed off that like Vader stabbed you, so you're gonna go.
You're gonna go to Tatooine for reasons. I mean,
I could be wrong.
It was made clear in the last episode she wasn't really after Obi-Wan, other than to try and get Vader distracted so she could try and kill him.
But this is where like, and I could have missed it because this is such a great show, and it's had my attention, you know, through the last 6 episodes. But
riveting.
did Reva, riveting? Did Reva ever know that Luke was Anakin's son?
No,
Did she know that Leia was Anakin's son? So why the hell is she going after freaking Luke? That's the thing. Like, I sat there trying to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. At this point of the story, she had no reason to go to Tatooine because she didn't care about Obi-Wan anymore. She didn't really care to begin with, other than to try and hunt and bring out Vader so she could try and get to him.
Right.
And still do all the malicious shit that she's pissed off at him for.
It's like, well,
what?
Crap, I can't go after Vader, so I guess I'll go after Owen because he pissed me off and looked at me the wrong way on Tatooine. So yeah, I'm gonna go after him.
Yeah,
he stood up to me.
Owen wasn't taking any shit. That's
no, man, thug life, dude. he's got
Was that the first episode? He's like, I ain't taking any of your shit, lady.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was trying to figure that out myself.
Full honesty, if you weren't fast forwarding or skipping large parts of this series, you weren't watching it.
Yeah.
That part I was watching it. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what happens because I only watched the one. So I'm trying to figure out what happens after.
Owen goes to warn Beru.
Oh,
She's
yes.
Like, she goes full Sarah Connor apparently.
Sarah
and
Connor
wants to arm up and stick to their ground. Apparently, even though Owen has the right idea of let's get the freak out of here. The Empire clearly knows about us now. We need to freaking book it. At least as far as they know, because it's just Reva coming after him.
I love the fact that they hid rifles
and their ground. Bye.
Yeah. Love the fact that they hid rifles like in stone, like inside like the walls. I think it's a great place to hide the rifles. Brew wasn't having it. Brew was like, "No, we're not losing my house, and we're gonna fight her."
Owen was just kind of like, "Lady, are you serious?" Like he didn't really like once she like did the throwing guns. It's like you could watch him, and he's just kind of like, "I don't know what to do with you right now."
Listen,
I don't know how to reply to this.
Happy life, happy wife. Okay, he couldn't. He can't tell Bruno because if he does, then he's gonna have a full night of drinking Java juice by himself. So yeah, we get to the part where they're now defending the homestead, or I guess they're hiding. Because
he tells Luke that it's sand people attacking. Yeah, she's one. I didn't know sand people started using lightsabers.
Well,
and now he potentially got a glimpse of a lightsaber.
Unless she was, he's
supposed to not.
Maybe she was a Jedi that turned into a Tusken, like in the Kenobi book. Shroud Het. Maybe she's the modern day Shroud Het.
Oh, God, don't do that.
I was just saying,
Well, I mean, she vanishes at some point, so maybe she goes and joins the Tuskens. Who knows?
How the hell though? And we're fast forwarding for a little bit. How the hell does Obi-Wan after the fight get to Tatooine so quick, within seconds? But then people say, well, you don't truly know how long it took him. But you can piece together the parts from what Reva's doing from when Obi-Wan after the fight gets to Tatooine. It's
Well, they don't interpret it as a long span of time though. They basically interpret it as boom, boom, boom. It happens.
Yeah. Domino effect.
There's there's just no span of time that it's expressed that yes, it took a little while because this is called immediately. Oh, here we are.
I don't understand why she's going after Luke though. Like she goes to the home.
There's no point.
She shows up and
no point for it.
Ignites her light. Yeah, ignites a lightsaber. I think they're hiding and waiting for her to like come closer, and then they try to take her out. But then like Luke ends up running away into the mountain. Where's he even running? He's running into the Dune Sea. Is that where he's running into?
I think he was. Oh, Luke. I think it's like kind of like getting towards the. Basically, it looked like the mountains that Obi-Wan was stalking him at.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it looked.
But it's just wonderful confrontation between Brew, Owen, and Reva.
Hey, you gotta again give it to Owen. He wasn't taking any shit. He even though this was a Force using lightsaber wielding maniac that had broken into their home. They're just trying to live a peaceful, happy farmer life. Got this whack job breaking in with a lightsaber, trying to kill them. Well, quote, kill them. Not really, because we know they can't. But anyway, he's not taking. Again, he ain't taking any slack. He full on fight through the big some piece of scrap metal or a.
Looked like something that it looks like something we found in the trash compactor on the Death Star.
Yeah. But now we got the explanation for why he has that limp later.
Yeah, like his dad.
You know, it couldn't have just been old age and stuff like that. Working farm life. Couldn't have been that. No, we had to give it to Reva apparently.
Give her credit.
And hey, he stands up. He's like, "Hey, kid is mine." He's being the dad type,
right?
Which is rare for a positive representation.
Touche.
And then blows their element of surprise by shouting to Beru, though, "She's coming!" It's called, dude. No, shut the fuck up. Let her walk through the doors and see what happens. Don't give people warning. You're trying to spring a trap. Don't warn people. But that's it then in that room where Luke had the potential to see Reva with a freaking lightsaber. He activated it before she fully went in. So, yeah.
Oh. No, and then she starts chasing Luke as we get to the chase scene. Is that where we're at?
I mean, basically, because we pretty much went over the whole Vader.
Yeah,
fight. That's for damn sure.
Obi-Wan gets buried, and then Obi-Wan hits him with some rocks, and then his nightlight chest piece gets broken. Wallop, his mask gets off. A lot of people were like, "Oh, I love the fact that Anakin was like, you weren't my failure, Obi-Wan," and then, I killed. You didn't kill Anakin, I killed him, and blah blah blah, and just. And
yet, what? 3 episodes ago, Vader had just said, "I am what you made me."
Right. But then the people trying to...
He's not it's not Obi-Wan's responsibility. I am what you made me. But you're not responsible for what you did to me. What the
But I've heard people say it was almost like Anakin was still somewhat Anakin there because
that's what they were doing with the lighting. They did that with
the lighting, but
you could see more when you first saw the blue lighting was supposed to kind of represent that.
Right.
Then, yes. When he said, "I killed Anakin" or whatever, then it went to the full red lightsaber coloring.
Right.
Yeah, I knew.
But then
I saw what they were trying to do with that.
For sure. But then, when he says,
but it was still stupid.
Hayden does the little eye twitch thing where he did in the Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan says that he loved him, and people were drawing that. They were trying to connect that piece. He did the same.
See that.
When Obi-Wan says something to him, he's like, what did he I'd have to pull it back up, but basically they were saying that Anakin looked at Obi-Wan just like he looked at him on Mustafar when Obi-Wan said that he loved him or something like that. So Anakin was still very much Anakin,
But we still went through all of that. We
Yeah, I get it, but so yeah, they got to put helmet scene and then
too, because he at the start of the whole fight, Vader gets onto the planet, and he says, "Have you come to destroy me?" It's like you came here down to the planet, dude. I was already here. You came to me. I don't know how I came to you to destroy you if I was already here.
right.
The dialogue is nonsense. They can't.
Right.
Again, the only thing they're consistent at is being inconsistent.
I didn't understand the part where he's like, "You weren't my failure, Obi-Wan," and then he immediately turns to saying, "I killed him." Like, I don't understand the point of the blue and the light. And if that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to, I guess, make it look like Anakin's still very much Anakin, or he's conflict. Like, I didn't get that part. I thought it was, other people liked it. I thought it was kind of dumb.
A little bit.
Like, this is 10 years after. So, are you still Anakin, or are you actually Vader? Or
Well, that was
like,
what they said, right? That this wasn't.
or
quite
is
the Darth
Anakin just
Vader
split
we know.
personality? Is Anakin
This
just
isn't
split
the Darth
personality?
Vader we know in A New Hope. That's what they were
For
saying,
sure,
right?
according to Deborah Chow. But is Anakin just split personality, or is it actually two different people?
That's been the problem with this whole thing. I mean, in my book, it's
Like, what is your opinion?
You know,
is Anakin
my opinion
Anakin, or is
is
Anakin Vader? Are there two different people?
Anakin's Anakin. Yes, there's the corruption of the dark side that has its potential influences, but like Yoda said it in Revenge of the Sith, nobody can make somebody turn to the dark side like that. Anakin
Right.
made his choice.
Right. So
He
I agree
decided
with you.
which path he was going down. That's all. It's his responsibility, basically.
Yeah.
That's what was basically already got established.
Yeah. Somebody was saying that it's Vader has always had split personalities, but I'm under
They
the
never
like
see that.
no.
They've
My belief
tried
is that
to
it's
do that,
Anakin.
and yeah, that's been kind of the
Anakin
dialogue
is-
a
yeah.
little bit because of what like Vader said, especially to Luke. That name means nothing to me anymore, and stuff like that.
Right.
The problem is that they've never really shown it
Right.
in an effective way. Not even in the Clone Wars show.
No.
They never showed it in a real effective way of like there's like a second personality to Anakin that's trying to take over.
Yeah, but I think their defense to their argument is like, well, clearly they say, well, this proves it because Anakin said that I wasn't your failure, Obi-Wan, but then he says, you didn't kill Anakin, I killed him, which indirectly, implies that there's two people. There's like a Dr. Was it a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
And Mr. Hyde. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
but I have always been of the belief that it's Anakin. Anakin is Anakin and Vader, and he was
After going through
Revenge of the Sith.
Well, Revenge of the Sith, but also going through like the Darth Bane trilogy and stuff like that. Because I used to think that too. It's a kind of a split personality thing, and it could be kind of neat to explore that idea. If I mean, there's been the thoughts of remaking prequels, but
Right.
no. But after going through like the Darth Bane book and stuff like that. No, it's very much I don't think this is a thing of split personalities. People make these choices. Like even Bane, he chose to become Bane of the Sith, right? That was his choice to make. Count Dooku didn't act like a totally different person. He pretty much just had an ideal shift and a name change, and that's basically for a lot of it's just a name change, basically, or just you could say a new identity. But Sidious had his technically because there's Palpatine and Sidious, but
Right.
I mean that was just playing kind of dual roles of.
Right. That was like, yeah, that was.
It was still him. Like it wasn't.
It's still
like,
Sheev.
Yeah, it's still Sheev.
Sheev is Sheev and Sheev and Sidious, I mean, they're the same. They're the same. They're one and the same. It's like to your point. The Sheev was, he was Sheev,
and like it
but
was,
he's putting on
there
a.
was in the Plagueis book, he let out some of his power while meeting with that Jedi just to kind of see what would happen and see if they would pick up on it, and just how blinded to the dark side the Jedi currently were, and it was fun for him.
Right.
It was entertaining for me. But no, I don't think it's a split personality disorder sort of thing. I think it's Anakin.
One of the
that's
guys
how I've been looking at it. It's just him. He made this choice.
Somebody at work was like, "Well, it's always been. That's how the Sith are. That's how it works. They have split personalities." I'm like,
no, it's corruption of the dark side, sure, and it might help fester and bring out those negative emotions, but it doesn't mean a whole new person. It's not a whole new. It's not a separate personality altogether. It's still that person.
Yeah.
It's just in like the veil of like the dark side, like it was with Luke's Jedi Order. To him, the idea of redemption was very important for anybody that fell. It was called, there's the potential that they can come back. So it's called when or if they came back to the light, it was just more of like, oh, my head's not as clouded with negative emotions. I'm back to normal. I guess you could kind of look at it more like depression or something like that, or I don't know.
Yeah, you're
There's not a whole new separate personality, though.
No.
Unless you were possessed by a Sith spirit, which could happen, but this isn't.
Well, he didn't. He didn't sound like Agenta Paul or Exar Kun or any of the other ones. So.
No, he didn't.
But that's like just a tiresome argument. Like, yeah. It's like, oh, they're two different people, and that's why he said I killed him because I'm Vader and you loved Anakin, and it's just like, shut up. They're the same person.
It's like the whole idea of like basically over-explaining something that doesn't need to be explained.
Yeah, like the Force, like, and I love what you say and how you describe it, where like Alex Guinness, Obi-Wan explains to Luke the Force and A New Hope. Beautifully done. Short, sweet, to the point, almost leaves it as a very mysterious type. It kind of answers it with all the while giving it the mysterious type feel, versus Ian basically saying it's like turning on a light in a dark room. You feel safe. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Yeah, I wasn't big on that explanation. I was not big on that. I'm like, no.
Alex Guinness is rolling over in his grave.
Explanation was much the superior.
I wonder if it's just Alex Guinness and they're just rolling over in their grave right now and just listening, like he's just shaking his head, like.
It makes you wonder sometimes. Yeah, it really does.
Oh God. And then he apparently dusts him, and then we get to where Obi-Wan's like, Luke, squirrel, and then he's off, and he's on Tatooine, and then he sees Reva, or he gets to Tatooine, and then he sees Owen and Brew, and
they're shouting Luke, and then he goes up.
Yeah.
What is that? Where is he?
He's like,
what do you mean?
Where is he?
We're out here shouting his name.
He's obviously not here.
Yeah,
he's out looking for his.
He's not here.
He's looking for his dad's pod racer. We can't find it. Well, you search over here, and we'll look for him until sunrise, until we find him. And he's off, and Reva's continuing to chase him, I guess, and then
Reva saves herself and then returns.
Well, he falls down or something, right?
Well, she used the Force.
Yeah. Pulls him down, and then she's like, about to, wallop him in half, and then she's like, like something's like keeping her. It's like almost like someone's using the Force on her hands, so she can't break it down. And she's having all these PTSD moments from Order 66, but it's so stupid. So you can torture a 10-year-old, but you can't kill a 10-year-old.
Atlanta Thrasher said, and she was okay with torturing Leia, but not killing Luke. She didn't know either were Force sensitive. Why did she make a connection to Luke and the younglings as Leia was Leia not scared enough on the torture device to trigger Riva? No, she wasn't, because Leia is a strong, independent woman, even at 10 years old.
Yeah.
So naturally, she wasn't afraid.
She went
not
through
really.
Yeah.
She may have acted afraid, but she wasn't really.
Yeah, puberty works differently for females.
And then so Luke's a little bitch, basically, and very forgetful, because Obi-Wan completely forgot about him. Didn't even.
But yeah, she's like, I can't. She can't do it.
Couldn't do it. And
carries him back to camp. And Obi-Wan,
for somebody that's gone back to the light now, she's certainly staying alive for quite a while.
Why didn't she just offer? Well, first of all, if she's walking back with him, and then she gets in front of Luke, Owen, she gets in front of Obi-Wan, Owen, and Brew. Why did Obi-Wan not just offer then? Why did he just wait?
Yeah, I was listening to Nerdrotic's review for it, and he was saying the same thing. He's like, here you have Reva, who has basically the knowledge of of not only Anakin Skywalker's Darth Vader, but potentially she may have some connection or know-how about Leia and Luke now, especially to Bail, his dumbass.
Yeah,
we'll get into that in a moment. But she has all this information. She's clearly Looney Tunes, and hey, Obi-Wan. You have to do everything you can to protect these kids, right? Well, maybe chop that head off. Yoink. Something has to be done. Secret has to be kept. Maybe.
You know what I was hoping for?
Do your job, Obi-Wan. Good God, you have failed.
You've now failed 3 different times. Wonderful. 4, 5. How many times? How many times?
I mean, if the whole point of this series was to make Obi-Wan the biggest failure in the galaxy, well, congratulations, you did it.
Yeah.
Turned one of my favorite characters into a complete simpering moron.
You know what I was really hoping for? And again, I'm gonna show my age here, but I was really hoping for the Last Samurai moment where she just gives herself a samurai death. She just, takes the lightsaber. When she kneels down,
that's
just
herself
do it.
The old seppuku.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I wish you would just. But why? Why not?
That's a movie I need to watch.
Have you not seen it?
I have not.
Oh my!
I'll shamefully.
Fractured.
I'll shamefully admit I have not seen it.
I was gonna say we could do a watch party, but it's like 3. It's literally 3 hours and some change long. So probably not.
That's part of why I also haven't watched it, because I know how long it is.
Oh, it's so good, but that's my question. Why did she offer? And I said this last show. I told you guys that she's gonna get her show, and they're not gonna offer because
they didn't offer. So Reva's spinoff confirmed.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't they offer? Why wouldn't they offer? Well, they can't. That's racist. You can't do that. So, yeah, I was really hoping that she would offer herself. But yeah, I don't understand why Obi-Wan didn't fight her. Why she didn't offer herself. What
did you say? Last Samurai or Seventh Samurai?
The Last Samurai.
Oh, I've seen The Last Samurai. Yeah, best Tom Cruise performance ever. I have seen that movie. I thought you said Seventh Samurai. I have.
No. Last Samurai.
No. Okay, yeah. I have seen that.
Yeah, really hoping for Last Samurai scene.
Hey, okay, I'm sorry.
Easy.
I'll watch it again. Okay, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, dude. But yeah. So I would have been happy. I would have been so happy if Obi-Wan had offered Reva, I would have been happy if she would have just offed herself.
Well, something had to have ended the thread. That's just it, because she was.
Because what's she gonna do now?
And so
if we get, well, that's the thing. She now knows. Well, she
knows everything.
She knows she knows Bail. She's heard Bail's voice on the hologram projector.
Not just that. The Empire knows about Bail.
Well, yes, but she knows all this information. So now what happens if she is she just gonna go off into the two sun sunset?
Like you said, she's gonna become the first Sherrod Het. She's gonna go and dance with the Tuskens like Boba Fett. She was the one that taught him.
You know, how dare you? You are a bastard.
She's the chieftainess in Book of Boba Fett. She's
You know
the
what's
one that
interesting though?
taught
You know what?
Boba
You know what's interesting? There's a scene where when Luke's running into the mountain range. You know that scene looked like the two pillars where the Tuscans live, where Adyar talked about. You know the two pillars.
Yeah.
I wonder if she. Oh, you bastard! How dare you? You've just ruined my night. She's the new Sharad Het.
No, I moved it from Sharad Het over to the shitty Tuskens and
Well, thank
Book of
you.
Boba Fett.
Thank you so
away.
much. She's the
welcome.
female Tusken that taught Boba.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Oh, I hate you so much right now. I've never hated you so much. Like, I've never hated you more than I hate you right now.
I tried to turn it into positive. What are you talking about?
No, it's still bad because now I have to like relive the Book of Boba, which was just atrocious.
What was
Not
worse?
to this.
Well, between these two shows, what do you think was worse?
I don't. Oh my, that's not fair. That's not fair to. I'll have to do a poll. This one, both. I don't know. How would you answer? I'd say this one.
Because of my connection and liking to Obi-Wan, I would say that this was probably the worst of the two.
But
Book of Boba was damaging, though. It was definitely damaging to his character, and it reset the Mandalorian, which was really stupid because they brought the stupid little brat back. But hey, we got a lot of good memes out of it. That was the only positive I could say.
We're gonna do a poll tonight on Twitter. We're gonna say which one was who did it worse, Kenobi or Book of Boba. Oh man. Okay, so then I don't even know where we're at. So like she gets redeemed. Obi-Wan gives her the Jedi speech about I don't even remember what he said. But basically,
killed her.
I would have. A Malgus lightsaber ignition through the heart would have been really, really great. But I don't know what comes after that. Like then, like Owen asks Obi-Wan if he wants to see Luke or meet him.
Well, it was then.
Oh no, he packs up his cave, his man cave. He packs up his man cave. That's what he does.
He goes back to Alderaan. He leaves again.
Yes, I forgot.
He leaves again. To Alderaan to have a creepy conversation with Leia about making sure not to tell anybody.
Oh my goodness! Yes, I forgot
which is,
this.
Like
this
people
is
said, is very in line with Disney and.
This is the cheapest way to cover up the whole A New Hope scene with Leia and
killing the
Obi-Wan.
environment with his unplanned trips. Yes.
To say like you can't tell anybody about our friendship because we'll both be in danger is the cheap way.
I get it, but it's like it comes off sounding creepy. It really does.
Well, it's just
welcome
stupid.
to the party, pal.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
How's it going?
Good.
I didn't think you were gonna make it tonight.
No, I tried.
Your internet's still acting crappy.
Yep.
So you might be intermittent in and out.
CenturyLink sucks. Don't ever get it.
Oh, I had them for a while. They weren't bad for me.
Terrible.
Sparklight's apparently where it's at.
Yeah, it is. That's what we're going to in July 6th,
Nice.
I think.
I have Sparklight right now.
Yeah, the new cable one.
I think there's something like that.
Yeah, they were cable one before.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. CenturyLink's DSL.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I said, they worked well for me. Anyways, we're just going through because I didn't think you were gonna make it tonight, so we weren't doing the watch party
good.
thing.
You're good.
We're just kind of going over everything.
I will say the best part of this show is Hayden Christensen. That's it.
to what capacity? I mean, they didn't
To,
really
the
effectively
capacity
use him
he
other
used in his
than the last
flashback?
episode, and it's like they should have brought
Exactly. The last episode's my favorite episode.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the
if
best
they
one
had
I've
done,
read.
if that had been more of the focus through this show, it could have been better. Like if
That's where
they
they messed
fleshed out more the relationship and shown Clone War, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but yeah, if you'd done more of those moments, and if they actually de-aged him, it could have turned out really. It could have turned out just a little bit better.
A friend of mine made a point that the reason, like, he said it wouldn't make sense for there to be Clone Wars flashbacks because, like, there was no Obi-Wan's focus wasn't on the Clone Wars; it was just on Anakin. And during the Clone Wars, they were like, you know, they were the best of the best friends. Like that's when they really connected.
Right.
So like it's about him having PTSD with Anakin and letting go of the past and all that. And
well, that's even kind of how for the Revenge of the Sith book, that's basically how a lot of it opens up when it starts getting to introducing the battle of Obi-Wan and Anakin getting into the fight, and that's basically like they're like the heroes of the HoloNet. They're the ones that everyone's like the kids are emulating while doing play battles.
Yeah.
It's called Who Were You? They even say in the book, it's like, so the parent will go to the youngling and say, so who were you today, Anakin or Obi-Wan? And, you know, it really does well to describe how their relationship is and just how they're the ones known as the two. They're basically like the faces of this war, basically.
Yeah.
Leading the
Anakin,
charge against the
yeah.
Separatists and being the ultimate defense against them and for the Republic 100%.
So I understand why there's no Clone Wars flashbacks, because there's no conflict for them during the Clone Wars. The conflict really happened before the Clone Wars and
it
after
doesn't even
the Clone
have to.
Wars.
I mean, that's just it. They want to talk about a character study and stuff, but that's part of that, developing more of their character together, their friendship, their brotherhood, showing all that. And then the conflict itself is in the Clone Wars. What was going on during that?
So what we should have had gotten in the show was like two stories. One of which it would take a lot longer to film because you don't want to like mess up the flashbacks unless you want to. But
that's what they should have taken time for this.
They should have done one story in flashbacks and one story in current day, where it's showing Anakin and them just being buddies, camaraderie and everything. There's like they're on a mission or whatever in the Clone Wars, and then in present day it's Obi-Wan trying to, what happened in the show, I guess. I don't even,
this is where you
could
have to basically rewrite this whole story. You have to rewrite this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all honesty, they shouldn't have done this whole rematch of the century crap. Yes, you could still do each story. Like you could have Vader having his part in the Empire, showing what's going on with that, and then Obi-Wan just trying to keep his eye on Luke, maybe fight off some Tusken Raiders here and there, protecting, helping make sure that the Lars homestead is remaining protected. And they could have told different stories, and they could have, maybe they could have branched off into other characters.
The whole rematch of the century was really just to hype up the show, and like, granted,
well, clearly after watching it,
I watched the fight scene again and watched it a few more times, and I like it because at first I did not like it because it just looked. I didn't like how it was cut, and I didn't like really pay attention to it. But then I did, and it's like Obi-Wan's using a lot of Anakin's moves at some points to try to like bring out Anakin in him, and
I feel like you're just kind of giving them more. You're doing the headcanon thing of giving them storytelling that they weren't really telling. I mean, maybe I'm just oblivious, but
I could be. But it seems like they did for certain things.
Well, I mean, at least you were getting more out of it than I was. I was just kind of like, I felt like we were repeating beats of Revenge of the Sith, just done differently to certain degrees, and to me, just not at that same level. Like when you sent me that
the rescore,
the rescore, I was like, okay, if they had presented it like that, I might have felt a little differently about the fight. Like if they had actually included Star Wars music instead of Star
Biggest
Wars
downfall of the
knockoff
series.
music.
Yeah, this is the biggest downfall of the series. Is like they did not do. They should have got Kevin Kleiner or someone to come in and do the music, not the girl who did Loki TV show. God, no.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Terrible. I hate it. The music in the show is the worst thing about the show. The best thing is just character moments for me, and that's it.
That's all. I mean, it's kind of like what a lot of these are now. It's just character moments, just little like key jangling moments of, hey, look. No, if they don't, I don't know if the guy's still active though. I'm trying to get it really quick. The guy that did the Shadows of the Empire soundtrack was excellent.
You know what's funny is the same thing happens to Vader 6 years later. With Ahsoka.
Yeah, the whole helmet cracking thing.
Yeah. Which,
Joel McNeely. Is it Joel McNeely?
For Shadows of the Empire?
Oh, Blake?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Blake Neely. That's
Yeah, Joe McNeely. He would have been great. Because he did the
best,
whole that whole soundtrack for Shadows of the Empire, and then what he created for Shizor.
Or Michael Giacchino or someone.
Beautiful.
Dude, the guy who did Mandalorian.
Dude, I'm just gonna say right now, on that album, "The Destruction of Shizor's Pals" is probably my favorite song.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah.
Favorite song in all of Star Wars is Anakin's Dark Deeds. It's just so good.
That is a good track too.
Very good. I've actually been listening to the Revenge of the Sith album, and I'd say Dark Deeds is up there too. Favorite, obviously, probably Battle of the Heroes.
Battle of the Heroes is really good because I love how it has like hints of Duel of the Fates.
It syncs up a lot of other.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same thing happens to Vader, and so what I thought was cool. Someone brought this up. I saw it online. I don't know if I sent it or anything, but so Ahsoka knocked off one side of his mask.
Yeah, and then it was the other
Obi-Wan
side.
did the other side, and then Obi-Wan and Ahsoka could never fully take off the Vader mask, but Luke could, because he was always meant to or whatever. But yeah, I really like that. That's cool. Don't know if they meant to do that, but whatever.
Well, no, there was no intention behind that because even Filoni took that from an old Dark Horse Star Wars comic called Purge. So the whole helmet breaking thing, that's where some of that came from.
The sound mixing though in that scene was so good. Between Hayden and
it wasn't bad. It was kind of wonky, but I mean, I kind of got the dynamic that they were trying to go for. Of the way he was speaking was getting more to that Vader side, while some of it was more Anakin. They're trying to do this whole separation crap, but it's Anakin. He's just flat out him.
He has a.
They were trying to.
What you talking about?
They're doing the whole reflection of the darks of him going from light to dark, basically. I got it.
But like Vader's always been two, or Anakin and Darth Vader's always been two people, even way
one
back.
person. He's one person.
You know he's two people.
He's one person.
He's two people.
He's one.
You guys don't respect people with DID? That's pretty shocking.
I don't know what the hell DID is.
Dissociative identity disorder?
He's the same person.
Damn.
Well, no, because even the way it was even talked about between Yoda and Obi-Wan, nothing can make a person be forced to the dark side. They have to make that choice. Anakin made the choice to become and go into it, to go to the dark side and to do whatever he could, basically in his eyes, to learn the ability to bring somebody back from death so he could save Padme due to his bad dreams. But that was his goal.
That Sheev gave him, no doubt.
Basically, he was like selling his soul to the devil. Sheev was the devil with that golden contract of, hey, you sign up with me, bro, you'll get your wishes. It didn't turn out that way. But he made a bad gamble. But he made that choice effectively. That was him making that decision. And his own. They've shown him to be impulsive and doesn't always make the best choices in life. So, I mean, it was all kind of laid that groundwork for him going into this life. And yes, he kind of embraced Vader, but that's just kind of him trying to forget his own past. That's always been the thing. He's been always trying to stay away from his past because he knows what that means that it will do to him.
Vader doesn't, or Anakin doesn't have DID, he has BPD. It's a borderline personality disorder.
Have we talked about, is there supposed to be a supposed Jedi Fallen Order show on Disney Plus?
Yeah, there is. There's a rumor.
Cameron Monaghan is rumored to have signed to play Cal Kestis in his own live-action Disney Plus show.
I don't think they're gonna.
I don't think that's a good choice. I think sticking with the video games is probably gonna be better until we see the sequel.
What I heard was that they're not gonna let. They didn't want to touch that character in live action until they got his trilogy done in the games.
Well, it is just a rumor, so maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless there's a lot of buzz for it, that might be them kind of scrambling and going, "Oh crap, we have to do something."
He's like the new Star Killer to a lot of people. Not as popular, but like not character-wise at all to Star Killer at all, like at all. Just like that, he's the video game character. People love him and they want to see him in live action.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I was so lukewarm to the whole thing. Like, I liked the gameplay, but the story I was just very like, it didn't really grab me in such a way to where I'm more involved in loving old stories like and old characters in the past. But then I don't want them touching any of that crap. So
I wonder if they're gonna do it or not.
I wonder if Lucasfilm or whatever, because there's this scene when Obi-Wan dies in New Hope that Obi-Wan looks not Padme, what the fuck? Leia looks at Obi-Wan and they like make eye contact.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, eye contact with Luke, yeah, but not Leia.
I mean, you just
Leia looks for like half a second and then keeps going. She doesn't even care. That's another one of the problems with all this is that she didn't give two craps about Obi-Wan dying either.
She had to keep it secret.
They spent all this time, having the little creepy pedo conversation there. We can't tell anybody about this.
And you all give me crap for the whole Anakin and Ahsoka.
What?
Well, this we have more evidence of because this was Obi-Wan actually being creepy.
I found that picture.
You just made up your own fan fiction of the whole.
I would never. How dare you? That's a shyster thing to say. I found that picture you're talking about. I'm going to put it in the private chat, I think.
What picture?
Of Ahsoka and like knocking off apparently one side and.
Yeah.
We already showed. Yeah, we already showed.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't. Okay.
Had it.
Wow, you did all that work and you're just shutting it down.
Man,
well, I wasn't gonna share it anyways.
No, I like this. So you guys are talking about Book of Boba Fett. You like it more than this. I like this.
I didn't say I liked it. I said it was. Well, I guess I probably should say it's less painful. Both are painful, but this is definitely the worst of the two.
Yeah, I was saying this one was just because I have a bit of a.
Did you hear Fractured's theory about how Reva's the new Shroud Het?
He doesn't even know who that is.
Oh, how silly of me! I forgot. Shroud Het was a. I don't want to blow your mind because then you'll. Well, maybe we should because then you'll read the book. I actually have a copy if you want to read it. Bring it to work on Monday for you.
We'll see.
See, I don't understand that. We'll see. We'll see. Oh God. We'll see. We'll see if we'll see.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what you all said because I was reading something.
Reading what?
I see how it is.
I heard book on Monday and that was it.
Fracture get going on with our conversation at least.
It was Ewan McGregor talking about how what is it? It was Star Wars related. Don't worry. How his first scene with
It's okay.
what's the guy's name who played Boba Fett? Daniel
Oh,
Logan.
Tamaki
Their first-
Morrisana or whatever.
No, not him.
Tempura.
The
Demura.
young Boba Fett. Daniel Logan.
Yeah.
How they first met and how George Lucas was directing him and saying that he wants him to look more suspicious when he opens the door, and then he was only 13 and he didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Ewan
so
McGregor
then,
said,
he told him to make it seem like he ripped a nasty fart or something.
yeah, I was reading that or watching it with subtitles and reading and really paying attention. So something about a book now. What were you saying?
The Kenobi book. Oh, we didn't even talk about Qui-Gon, him coming back, and I was reading a tweet by Stig had posted something about, he quoted George Lucas, how basically saying that it was impossible for Qui-Gon to do it because his training wasn't done, but yet somehow here we are breaking continuity again.
Yeah, someone made an excuse that he's just a mirage to Obi-Wan.
No, that was pretty.
Yeah. I mean, there's technically no way to prove if it was Mirage or not. Yeah. I don't, because there's no one else around.
It was it was just Ben and his Yopi. So
can other people see Force ghosts or only Force sensitives?
Oh.
Because in Return of the Jedi,
just Force sensitives.
Okay. Because
it was it was just Luke that saw Ben, Yoda, and Anakin.
I know it was after Leia left too.
I'm gonna
it was just
try this.
staring out.
I'm gonna try to share screen.
He had more of a look of what are you looking at? I could be I'll have to rewatch the scene, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it was presented.
Yeah, I mean, she's Force sensitive at that time.
Not to great effect though.
No, just a
bit. Like it was. Even Luke only heard a voice at a point too.
Yeah. I don't like that he came back as a Force ghost. That kind of makes me mad.
The log Obi-Wan sat on, that could see, so we're good.
Yeah, you're right there. I don't know. That's the gripe I have about the show. They broke Clone Wars continuity. That's not okay for me.
That's okay with me. Go ahead, guys. You go ahead. Because supposedly Deborah Chow had the okay from Dave Filoni. She went to him for information.
I know, that's ridiculous.
He okayed it.
So this is something I want to talk about.
The great savior of Star Wars, he okayed it.
Let's see. I'm going to see if this works. Hold on, give me a second.
If I ever meet Dave Filoni, I'm going to ask him, why is he a Force ghost right here? Because it doesn't make sense. And then he's going to give me an explanation, and I'm going to be like,
who? Right here?
No.
Oh.
No, not McGregor. He wouldn't know. He's not a Star Wars fan.
Clearly. You let the show
Star Wars nerd, I should say. No,
it's like this was
Filoni.
Ask him, can you see the screen or no?
I can't see.
I don't see anything all three to share.
He's trying to screen share himself.
Oh, yeah, that's not working. Entire screen, maybe? Let's try this.
But you basically have extra controls, so you could.
You share screen, and then you click OK, share screen, and then you click OK again, and then you click Window, Chrome. I go Chrome tab, and I just click on that.
Oh.
That's
Window,
what I usually
maybe?
do. You can try Windows.
Let's try this.
Can I share my Disney Plus?
You don't want to close that.
What? No,
we're sharing the StreamYard screen.
That's not all right. Well, I give up. Well, I'll just play with it then. Hold on. I was trying to share this tweet, but basically it was a quote by Lucas.
Put it in the private chat. And
Close that.
I mean, it wasn't really. It was just showing all I had.
It's in Discord. I was trying to share Discord. It's in our Discord chat, but.
Let me grab that.
Hello there.
I tried.
He said the line, guys. He said the line. He said hello there.
I was gonna say, were you happy? You finally got it.
Yeah. I don't like that.
I know that was a
weird
big
that he just stands there. Like when I watched it again, I was like, why is he just standing there for a bit and then he says hello there?
He's creepy Wan Kenobi. Leering at the kid.
Should it be
I like
like
OG Star. I like OG. She says Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think it's hilarious.
Like he's got phobia of what?
No, he's fake. Phoebe.
Oh.
Oh, Phoebe one.
Wouldn't it
Kenobi.
be Fabi one Kenobi? Or
No.
One Kenobi?
No. Faux. Like faux leather.
Was
French.
this what you were trying to
Oh,
say?
No, it was the one by Stig. He quoted Lucas
Oh.
about the Force Ghost. It was the one before that post, I think.
You know in the Rebel
Oh, there it
scene
is. There it is.
with Ahsoka? Why does he have an
Huh?
eyebrow? In the Rebel scene with Ahsoka, why does Anakin have an eyebrow?
Because I believe that was a reference to the original screening of Return of the Jedi. He had eyebrows.
Oh,
They took
really?
off the helmet.
Okay.
Was he in
And
Rebels?
That was supposed to get him a bunch of nerd cred, apparently.
Hold on. In the Clone Wars, I haven't watched season 7, but does Anakin die the same way? Like, because like to that point, he had an eyebrow in Rebels. I didn't understand that.
It was
Yeah.
a
That
reference,
scene.
basically.
It's
But does it show in the Clone Wars? Does it show like Anakin dying on Mustafar and getting burned alive, or no?
no, because
No.
that's a story being
No,
told
that
in the
they just
movies.
that he's just focus. He just Filoni just has it focused on his waifu, Ahsoka.
So he basically just
Ahsoka
yeah,
and
okay.
all it focuses on.
So then,
Anakin didn't
we
fly.
never see the ghost
Minute.
of Qui-Gon. He's not that accomplished. He's able to retrain his personality, or retain his personality, but he's not able to become a corporeal ghost. To quote George Lucas, it's not honoring Lucas because he's quote tweeting Star Wars
Holocron.
Liam Neeson on his return as Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I certainly didn't want anyone else playing Qui-Gon Jinn, and I wanted to show my respect for George Lucas and that mythical world that he created.
And then yeah,
That's where
so-
Stig's quote comes in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that he's not actually honoring it by appearing like this.
Did anybody else cry when they saw Qui-Gon, or is it just Star Wars theory?
No,
Just Star
Okay.
Wars theory.
It's
I
just Star
cried
Wars
when I
theory,
saw Hayden as Vader, though.
I was gonna say, did you cry when he's like, "I wasn't your failure, Obi-Wan"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But he
you
said,
didn't kill
but he
Anakin.
but he said, then he also had said, I am what you made me."
Yeah.
I mean, that was just 3
I just-
episodes ago.
I was watching a little bit of, like I said, we were talking before the show, Fracture and I, about watching a little bit of Star Wars Theories, his live stream, but then he was just crying. I'm like, why are you crying, guy? And I was trying to like match up like what he was watching, so I figured he was just crying because of the scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan, but no, he was crying because of Qui-Gon. So it was so beautifully done. I'm like, why are you crying for, guy?
Do you think it was
Qui-Gon's his
performative?
favorite
Like he was.
Jedi.
Do you think it was performative? Like he was doing it again because it was like the Mandalorian season 2 end because Luke appeared at the end.
I don't know. I think I think he was spraying himself with a spray. No, these were genuine. These were genuine tears. Like I'm not even joking.
No, yeah, they were genuine tears. I was watching it.
I was trying
I'm
to give
like,
him a little
ugh.
credit, like maybe he, trying to put on an act for the.
No.
No, these were legit like ugly crying. I just watched Titanic tears.
Oh,
Titanic makes
people
you cry.
cried during the Titanic. That movie was.
I laughed. I laughed because there's obviously room for 2 people on that door, and if I had been in the water, I would have kicked her off the door.
I think that's a big flaw of that movie is that the door is supposed to be actually smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, no, the regular size door would work fine. Nope.
Anyways, yeah. So I was just wondering if anybody else cried.
No, just
No,
I
I
didn't,
didn't shed a
cry. I
But
just
my problem,
teary-eyed.
my problem with that scene, and I'll touch on this, and again, like, so when you read the book Kenobi, Obi-Wan, like, obviously is like, at times pouring his heart out to Qui-Gon, right? And there's this, you can just through the book, you can feel like he wants to talk to him, and now that he sees him, it's just so anticlimactic. He's like, Master Qui-Gon. Like, you've spent day in and day out talking to him about Anakin and all the stuff that you're going on Tatooine, and then you finally get to see him, and you're just like, oh, Master Qui-Gon, like, you've been gone for 15 years, so good to see you. Like, you would think that it would be a bigger like build up than just like, hello.
Hey,
there.
what's up, bro?
Yeah, hey, what's up, man? Haven't seen you since you got taken out by Maul. Your chest looks good. Your stomach looks good. Like that was just, it was so anti. I was like, wah, wah, wah. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like this is the same. This is supposed to be the same Kenobi that would sit on the foot of his bed in his house, not his cave, holding Anakin's lightsaber, reminiscing of a bygone era where he had to kill his brother and is definitely dealing with that fallout. And then to see him, he's just like, "What's up?"
And apparently, Qui-Gon was there with him the whole time.
Like,
Who
I understand not interfering, but I mean, a good pep talk or two could have helped out.
Well, like he did, like
Again,
like in the Fate of the Jedi.
He was again, under Rebel and stuff like that. That's where some inspiring words from Qui-Gon Jinn could have been really beneficial. Instead, he got his mojo back by a 10-year-old.
Yeah. He's like, could been like, dude.
So the reason with that is because like he's focusing on the living force instead of like the past. Like Qui-Gon said in Phantom Menace, keep your mind on the living force, whatever.
Not at the expense of the moment, my young Padawan. I don't know. Would have been a great, moment to be like, hey, like, I got a lightsaber drilled through my stomach. You have some rocks on you. How about you man up and get out of this? Instead of, like, just, pushing the rocks.
And technically, he did have the high ground, too, again, Obi-Wan, when he picked up the rocks.
Well, Vader first had the high ground, and he never said a dang thing about it. What a shame. They had such an opportunity.
I think that would have went over the top. Like,
I think.
Oh, that would have been over the top, not him using a bunch of freaking boulders.
Thank you for using Thank you for using the term boulders, not rocks. It's so bad, man. The fight scene, like we were talking. I don't know if you caught it. But it's like his chest piece was literally destroyed by some non-fancy lightsaber move behind his back. So he destroyed his chest piece, and then he basically, fractured his helmet. Yeah, zero damage. Like, yeah, pillow fight.
Big old pillows.
And yeah, literally. Maybe they were just dust rocks or something. I don't know, because we don't even know what planet this was. At least
sand rocks.
Yeah, that
weakness.
For sure. Yeah, he destroys his chest piece and then he fractures his helmet. No pun intended, fractured. But yeah, like how is he surviving? Because his life support system is literally like the components like
broken beyond.
You saw sparks coming out of it, which would logically lead you to believe that it's probably not working well, or if not 100%, well, and then he's still able to basically talk and survive. So I didn't get that part, and Star Wars theory himself said Obi-Wan's gonna have to dust him pretty good. Like I don't see where was the dusting. You sliced him on the back, and that did really nothing to him. You destroyed his chest piece, which didn't really do anything to him because he survived, and then you fractured his helmet. And then there's this thing going around that said that like Obi-Wan gave him that head scar this fight. I was like, no, he gave him that scar was there with the during the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's supposed to be the rematch of the century, and we just got a bunch of rock throwing shenanigans.
There's two geezers of the century going at it.
Literally, I mean, so
they're not that old, but it's funnier to say it that way.
And if they, clearly don't care about continuity, so why didn't Obi-Wan just off him right there? Why didn't he just finish the job?
Yeah, because getting back to that means he now, since he left Vader again, he's got Alderaan, the blood of Alderaan on his hands when that happens. And then anything else that Vader goes forward doing, killing, anything the Empire's doing, now on Obi-Wan's head.
Right. You can't say, well, they can't do that because it would break continuity, or it would affect Revenge, or it would affect A New Hope. Well, they already have. The show already has. So, like, what's the point? And we already know that they're going to retcon and redo the original trilogy. So they might as well. Like, I don't understand. Like they could have done it. they've screwed continuity at every corner during the show. Every corner. A New Hope is now stupid. If you watch this show and you watch New Hope, it makes no sense.
What you talking about?
I mean, where would you like to start?
Back at the beginning of this podcast, the stream.
Yeah, like it does. It makes no sense. Like, you know. And I think I don't know if we were talking at work the other day, like the whole, you know, Obi-Wan saying like you got to keep it a secret because we'll both be in danger is the cheapest way of like trying to bridge, you know.
It'd be cool if he just like Jedi mind wiped her or some shit.
Yeah, or you know, I don't know, like a Men in Black, get like one of, you know, like a Men in Black device and just, you know. But yeah, it makes just Well, should we rate it? Should we just rate the show now? Like, since we've done it every...
The show as a series, or what?
Well, I don't even know. So there's rumors about season 2. 0 out of 10.
I'm done being nice. I'm fucking over this.
Whoa, dude, kids show.
Yeah, dude, kids show.
I'm freaking over this. Sorry.
Thank you.
My apologies.
We got virgin ears over here, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's a kids show. We're here for the kids.
I just found the whole series rather just like insulting to the whole franchise, the continuity and stuff like that. They kept claiming that they were not trying to break any canon and stuff like that. Oh no, no, you're not. You were doing everything and anything you could to shoehorn your own crap and try and make it seem like it was making sense, but it just. You didn't. I could find holes in this, in all this. On top of it, you turned Bail Organa into a complete simpering retard that gave his whole thing away. The Empire knows who he is. He, at any point, Vader should be going right to Alderaan and killing him for being a Jedi sympathizer and traitor. He should not be staying alive whatsoever. They know about. They know a degree about Leia. They thankfully didn't get to know apparently anything that there's something hidden on Tatooine other than maybe Kenobi.
Yeah. So overall, 0 out of 10.
I just found it really was just kind of exhausting for me. Like I kind of did that little joke thing at the beginning with, you know,
but that's really how you feel.
Soul, but that's kind of it's how I felt, and like it was. I was just kind of feeling really kind of like out of it that day for the rest of that day. Next day, I watched Stargate Atlantis. I felt better because that's an actual good show, well written, fantastic.
You said Battlestar Galactica? Is that what you said?
No, I said Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about your freaking robots.
Oh, wow. Disrespectful.
You and your freaking son. I thought you couldn't have any other favoritism other than Star Wars.
You can't.
but Battlestar Galactica is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. None of the threads weren't connected very well. We got basically just a rehash of Revenge of the Sith at the end of all of this that we already had the connecting ties to. This whole rematch of the century should have never have happened. There was no point behind it.
Other than it, I mean,
Reva was a stupid insert for their own stupid personal political agenda and crap like that. She made no sense. She's supposed to have like some sort of redemption arc, yet she was being more hardcore and aggressive at the start of all of this, and yet she was trying to stop Vader because of what he did, but she was just doing the same crap. Like I heard people compare it. It's like, you know, father's daughter dies to meth and he becomes a meth dealer. You get revenge. What the fuck? So, and then this episode alone, with all of the fact that the freaking Star Destroyer couldn't capture the ship. Previously, we had, you know, Vader going way too OP. In this episode, we had Obi-Wan going way too OP. Leia, who couldn't fix her droid, but Obi-Wan could. But then she was also supposed to be able to fix some doors. It made that. I mean, And then apparently Reva's teleporting across to planets.
Instant
she has no
transmission, I
access
think,
to.
is what we.
Yeah, that's what we basically broke it down to.
You know.
People fitting into the snowspeeder, which was an impossibility for that episode.
Or just
and
in general.
And also Obi-Wan smuggling a 10-year-old in his coat.
Like Austin Powers.
The only thing I'll take as a good, as something that I thought was good and stayed true to their character was Owen Lars. He was the consistent character throughout all of this. They kind of tried to do goofiness with Beru, but that kind of can be flashed over really quickly. Yeah. Owen was the main character. Obi-Wan, no. 10 years after, within the first maybe first year to two, he might have had some residuals. But again, he was a Jedi trained since birth. He knew how to compartmentalize himself. He knew what he got himself out of a rut after even Yoda gave a talk to him about Anakin and about him going to the dark side and stuff like that, and how they were going to have to make these certain decisions. And at the end of Revenge of the Sith, for the most part, with that, he was in a. Yes, things looked dire, but there was hope in the galaxy because he knew there was Leia and then there was Luke, who he was going to be looking after. He didn't stick to his mission worth a damn. He left at almost immediate notice, just after a little talk from Organa, playing super hide and go seek, managing to find him out in the desert like that.
Yeah.
No, F this series. I'm glad it's done, but at the same time, supposedly
there's season 2.
Potential season 2.
Yes. Well, no, there is, because it's gonna be. Yeah, we now got to talk about Luke.
My only hope is that they at least maybe this time take a little more time, a little more consideration, actually get a good story to go with this. Like maybe actually, dive into some of the EU that you've thrown in the garbage, and try and make a cohesive and good story. You can still try and include Vader, fine, but don't have them cross paths with Obi-Wan. Just keep the story separate. Yeah, let's go with that idea of showing more like their time during the Clone Wars, or their time as Master Padawan before the Clone Wars when he's trying to instruct them. We could get some of that. We could get that to kind of fill those gaps in a little bit while there's whatever extra going on. Keep the stories contained.
How much you want to bet that
don't go
in season
galactic?
Yeah. How much you want to bet in season 2 they're gonna fight again 2 more times?
If I got
just
you broke me.
Just use your words. No, seriously though, if there's a season 2, and then I don't think Davy also, either we were talking about it or maybe somebody else at work, but somebody was saying that Reva is going to be the acolyte main character.
I said that, yeah.
That you said, okay, that was you then. But yeah, what if they fight again? Are you going to lose your mind? We're going to raise the city to the ground?
That would break their own continuity they set up.
They already did. What are you talking about? This whole show that is broken continuity.
No, their own continuity they set up themselves.
How would it break their own continuity if they fought again?
Because Palpatine said to forget Obi-Wan.
Okay, but that's not like, that's just him telling them to do it. So if he's like, doesn't do it, that doesn't mean they're breaking continuity. That's just Vader not listening to Dad.
Maybe use him as fuel for your hatred. No, forget about him like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even get to that. We didn't even get to that part.
Oh yeah, where
I don't.
It's
cameo.
not Sheev. That's not Sheev. That's not.
You don't think it was Ian McDermott?
No.
I don't know.
He just looked really.
About.
He just looked really sleepy. That's all. He just wanted to, I think he was up. He's up past his bedtime. He wanted to go to sleep.
No, I don't think it's him. I don't think it's him. Just like I don't think James Earl Jones did the voice.
Well, no, he
actor's
didn't.
age. You can't like hide that completely.
No, you can't. No matter how much
CGI character.
It still didn't look like him though. Like, am I?
It took me a moment, but once I saw him and heard him, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Yeah,
to me, it didn't sound like him. It sounded more like Palpatine than the Emperor, but
they're the same person.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's why it sounds weird. But they have 2 different voices.
Yeah, it didn't sound like him.
I heard. I was kind of wondering what was going on with it. I wasn't sure if it was like just the scene or something, but I was like, I heard parts. I was like, okay. I was trying to pay attention enough to him, so it looked like it was him. It just looked like it was like they were trying to do more of like Return of the Jedi kind of look on him than what he looked like at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm skeptical about it. I don't think it was him, but could have been wrong. But on this one, I'm not, because I know Sheev. That was not Sheev.
You know Ian McDermott personally now?
Dude, yeah.
One
time we drank about 4 cases of Krelling Ale together one time.
They go to the pub every Thursday night.
Davias, so what are your thoughts on it then, as a whole?
6.57 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because there was moments I liked, there was moments I disliked, but overall, I like the show. Will I watch the full show again? Probably not. I'll probably watch it in increments, or I'd watch it, skip over stuff I didn't like, or just go watch clips.
Yeah.
Because there's certain parts of the show I really like, and there's other parts I really don't. So.
This might be shocking, but I have to agree with Fractured. I think it just, as a whole, it's just terrible. It's absolutely dog water. The writing is atrocious. The visual effects are atrocious.
Can't read that.
It's
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, Script Trooper acted it to porn parody level acting, and it's just,
I'll at least say it seemed like McGregor tried to bring out some of his acting chops for that scene when the helmet got busted. Otherwise, he's been very just kind of dry.
Yeah.
Not very inspiring.
I think that there's really, in my opinion, there's no real defense you can give for the show. Like, you know, like we were saying earlier, like, yeah, they said that they were short on time or whatever, but you know, you had two people. Yeah, you had two people that, you know,
push a show back, do what kind of extra reshoots or whatever you need to do, especially when you got two, at least for the time that we knew, 2 of the original actors from the prequels to be in this show. You should take the time and consideration and care to make a good show, not just fart something out just because you're trying to fill space on your shitty streaming service.
The actors want to return, though. Like,
this
they
show,
like their experience and they want to return. Sorry.
No, I was just saying this show literally looks like it was edited. It was edited at my high school on some of our software that we used to use. It's how bad it is, and the camera shaking is just pissed me off the whole show. This whole camera shaking, the visual.
Oh yeah, the shaky cam.
Yeah, I had to use a flashlight to actually try to see some of the scenes because it's so dark. You know, there's so many plot holes that the fans have to defend and try to bridge those gaps because Disney and Lucas is so stupid in the first place to create these plot holes, plot armor, if you will, plot holes. It breaks continuity on. I don't know if Fractured, if we've ever seen a show that breaks continuity as much as this show has broken in the short amount of time.
In Star Wars or in general?
Just Star Wars, yeah.
I mean, this is. I mean, that's the thing. Like Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and stuff. That's been all setting up their own continuity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they had no direct effect on the original trilogy or prequels for the most part. So no, I mean, that's just it. They weren't really affecting this.
Yeah. And then the other thing, you know, is obviously if they do a second season, then maybe we'll find out. But like, I didn't watch Rebels, probably won't watch Rebels, but like with what happens to, you know, all the 72nd brother and 93rd sister, and, you know, rather made no sense. This character made no sense. And I agree with Fractured. It was just a way to push their own political agenda.
Here we go.
Who
are you? Reva who? Reva Kenobi.
Yeah, literally.
We got the pitch for our sideshow.
Yeah. Rava's character made absolutely no sense, and that's not me being racist. That's me saying that the
you don't
character.
have to qualify. Just
I
you
get
can
it.
make your judgments.
Yeah, because we know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, the character made no sense. Bale's an idiot, and he's an idiot in the show.
He's a wholesome dad. What are you talking about?
He's a wholesome dad, but he made poor choices for the mission that he was given to protect, or to be the one watching over Leia. Instead, he passes the job on the Obi-Wan to go and get her.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently, what was it? I've heard that, and because I haven't watched Rebels in a long time. Him and Ahsoka are working together of setting up the rebellion. So why didn't he get her?
She's off. Well,
instead we had to get Kenobi, when he should be staying on Tatooine and protecting Luke.
I don't remember if they did work together at all.
Yeah. Hodge is just the embodiment of Marvel humor inserted into this show. Terrible character and
that Obi-Wan kept handing Leia onto, and it was like, what?
Yeah. Leia,
and it gives him that communicator, which he immediately drops.
Secretly trying to kill Leia.
Leia has grown. There's no development from a 10-year-old to A New Hope. She's the same fearless 10-year-old that we see, or she's basically the same fearless person that we see in A New Hope from the show.
I'd argue Luke hasn't either.
We haven't seen anything with Luke. Well, we haven't seen
wasn't
anything.
even in this.
That's not even Luke. Luke had blonde hair. This boy had brown hair. It's not even the same Luke. # not my Luke.
Not even the Luke in the sequels are.
Right. Yeah, I think to your point though, honestly, I think Owen probably did the best job because Owen, is just Mr. Grumpy Gills. Yeah, just the Mr. Grumpy Gills,
When he at least stood his ground and protected his kid, what did Bale do?
Yeah,
farted around and hired other people. Got a broken down Jedi to go and do it.
Yeah. There's a lot more. We could go on for the next 2 hours nitpicking it and breaking down how many times they broke continuity. But yeah, this show's just.
Well,
I'm not even gonna give it. I'm not even.
If for anybody that's listening, you can certainly go back to the previous 5 episodes that we've done, and get all of our breakdowns of each episode, because we pointed everything out throughout this whole saga.
But I've never been so excited to actually go back and watch The Mandalorian.
Are you really gonna go watch that?
Well, we have a couple more episodes to review, don't we?
Oh, Mandalorian! I got confused for some reason. I thought for some reason my brain was like Boba Fett. I'm like, why would you go and watch that again?
No, never again.
Oh yeah, we gotta. We'll finish off Mandalorian, which the episode where we'll be going into that has some stupid shit too.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever been so excited to be done with
to get away from another shit. Another Star Wars.
It's just. And then we'll have to decide.
I was gonna say, when is Andor supposed to be
in August?
Off?
Hold on.
August.
We'll find out the exact date.
August. So we're doing.
I think it's at the end of August. Why did I just?
I have to think it's something between then.
There's Bad Batch season 2.
It's only
was it
16 episodes.
When does Bad Batch come out? Isn't that before or after Andor? Is it before Andor?
It's after Andor. It's August 31st.
Yeah.
It's after.
And next year is when we're supposed to get season 3 of Mando.
Yeah, like February, I think.
Yeah.
So, I'm not even gonna give it the pleasure of I'm not even gonna rate it. No, I will. 0 out of 10. Negative 0 out of 10.
You flip flopper.
I don't even want to rate it, man. It's just so bad. I don't even think it deserves a rating. It's just dog. My rating. Okay, final answer. Rating: dog water.
That works. I can dig it up.
Yeah, I don't know how you come. I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know, what.
Well, I watched Stargate Atlantis. That helped me out.
Yeah.
That made me feel a lot better.
It'll go. restart Jedi Outcast or something. I don't know. I got to do something because my brain's just it's fried. Even talking about it.
I gotta finish. I gotta edit the last part of my Jedi Outcast play to put that up, and then I'll work on starting up playing.
Republic Commando.
Yeah, Commando. So
I need to still download Republic Commando, but I'm too busy trying to do it. I just restarted Jedi Outcast, and I just got to Nar Shaddaa, which is my favorite level.
That's when you first get your force powers.
Yeah, yeah. I love Nar Shaddaa. My two favorite levels probably Nar Shaddaa and Bespin, but Nar Shaddaa has a special. I would love to holiday there every year if I could.
Nar Shaddaa? Why?
Oh yeah. Oh, just so, dude. Like, why? Like, why not? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Planet for the huts. That's a bunch of casinos and shit.
Hair crying.
I'd much rather vacation to Alderaan. Much nicer planet. Nice snow.
Maybe Tatooine, man. Nah, maybe Tatooine.
Tatooine's nice.
I'd say Nar Shaddaa, man. Those are my people.
Coruscant is where I want to go.
Coruscant, rebel scum.
Just like Malgus, I'd want to raise that freaking planet.
Oh yeah.
Ground.
I would like it. Yeah.
Unnatural thing in the galaxy. It needs to go.
Maybe Terrace. Terrace would be cool.
Terrace was like a burgeoning. They wanted to be the next Coruscant. I was like, why? Why would you want to do that to your planet? Don't.
Let's go to Jabim.
That's so stupid. That's like Jakku. Let's go to Jakku.
Why does everyone want to go back to 2.0?
Yeah, it's like why does everybody want to go back to Jakku? I don't know, Finn, because everybody loves Jakku apparently. Ugh. Yeah, man, Nar Shaddaa, those are my people, man. Play a little Pizzac. Have a little Jawa juice, a little Kryllian ale, a little spice. Makes everything nice.
Yeah, if I can run around and kill huts, I'll be a happy camper, I
guess. Yeah.
Damn.
Davia, so what do you have on your plate?
Nothing. I'm just
Not gonna play any stream mini games?
Nope.
We gotta figure out when we're gonna do KOTOR or SOTOR.
Yeah, SOTOR.
Well, you don't wake up early even on your days that you go in late, so I don't know. I'm still trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I'm just still 3D printing stuff. That's all I've been doing. That and just watching shows.
Yeah.
I don't have editing software right now, so I can't edit anything.
Don't worry. What have you been printing so far?
It's a long project. Soldier Boy from The Boys, his shield.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Moist.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 14 pieces printed. So I'm close.
Cool.
And then the post process.
Gotcha. Are you gonna paint it up and stuff yourself?
Oh yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I got some gold, silver spray paint I'm gonna use on it.
Is that good? I heard about that show. I've not watched it. I think is it on Prime?
Yeah. Oh, The Boys is so good. I think you'd love it.
Someone said it's like a kind of like a rendition of Justice League, but more
it's like
more vulgar.
It's like if superheroes were in the real world and controlled by an organization.
Yeah.
It's very it's very they touch on real world issues.
Yeah.
Within the show, so if you're not that political, you should enjoy it. But also, you should just enjoy it no matter what, because it's a good time. Carl Urban,
The Boys.
Is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
Yeah, I guess
I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, I think we're at a good stopping point then. I wanted to go over a few other things, but I'm kind of
do it.
after
my brain's fried.
You're drained. You're drained. At least you didn't have to watch it again. Okay.
I literally
Christ.
Yeah, my avatar. That's how I physically look right now. My avatar.
You're being held together by a rebreather.
Yeah.
Kyle might return. Okay. Well, with that, I'll play us out. My clip that I made. And
so pumped. Let's see it.
Later, everybody.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Your soul is mine.